Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Age of the Worldheart. My name is Bicycle Walrus, and I will be your Dungeon Master today as we take these 6 intrepid adventurers on their continuing heroic journey and tale of discovery now that they are at home at Crescent Hollow. At the top of every stream, I, of course, have to read a very, very important disclaimer. We are honored to have Vunas, who is an employee of Wizards of the Coast, participating in this campaign. However, it is essential for us to clarify this game was not affiliated with or endorsed by Wizards of the Coast. Vunas is playing in her personal capacity on her own time. All viewers, actions, and statements are her own and do not reflect those of Wizards of the Coast. With that being said, let's go ahead and introduce our players. This time we'll go from right to left, starting with none other than Vunas, who is playing Alciona, the Artificer.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am playing Alciona, also known as Ali to her friends. She's maybe not friends with these people yet. But yes, I am the Blue Lady Artificer Sea Elf.
Wonderful. Welcome on in. After that, we have none other than Alan, the Yellow-Eyed, playing Hawk.
What up,
the
y'all?
Rogue. Hi.
Yes, half-elf rogue. Very, very level-headed. Does not do anything off the cuff at any point, at any time, ever. Like, get the wild idea to shoot a bell. It never happened. It's a lie, and no one saw it.
Now, who will ring the bell? Up next, we have none other than Mountain Troll Chief playing Theo, our
hi there.
Paladin of the Silent Flame.
Oh, hi there.
Oh,
That's
hi.
me. Mountain Troll Chief, the one and only. Playing Theo. I don't plan to die this session, but
Good.
fingers crossed.
You had a close call last session.
Yeah, no close calls this session even. That's what we're going to shoot for.
All right, that sounds
It's going to
good.
be a good day.
After that, we have none other than Atomic Atrox playing the furnace-blooded tiefling fighter, Umber.
Oh my goodness, that's me. I'm Atomic Atrox. I play Umber, and I explode in fire sometimes.
This is true. Up next, we have none other than Stormsword playing Malali, or Smoke, or maybe someone else.
It's Smoke, and I'm a bard. I'm also a half-elf. We have a lot of those in this party this time go around, huh?
3. We have 3 half-elves.
Yeah, I like it.
And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have an average panda bringing to us Nightingale, the Kenku Wizard.
Hello, everyone. It's Panda. Level 2 Kenku Wizard. Quick reminder for my companions. We do have 10 temp HP.
Yes, you all do, in fact, have 10 temporary hit points. Oh. All right, everybody. Well, with all of that introductions being done and out of the way, I want to go ahead and bring us on into our introduction. A bit of a recap from yesterday. The wind has shifted in Crescent Hollow. Not long ago, a caravan rolled in under cloudy skies, its purpose veiled, its cargo more precious than coin. Lay-touched children, hunted, marked, meant to vanish into the fog of forgotten roads. But fate placed them in the path of our unlikely heroes. When the dust cleared, the caravan's driver was no longer a man, but a husk twisted by corruption, his voice silenced by blade and fire. And the children? Safe. For now. Escorted by grim-faced constables, our champions were led into Sir Graven's manor, a stone-wrought refuge with too many locked doors and too few truths. There they were offered food, firelight, and hollow pleasantries. But Crescent Hollow keeps its secrets poorly. In the bell tower, they found no tolling bell, only silence, layered thick with dust and half-faded runes. Something had called to them, something old, and in the stillness they saw a vision. A dragon, sleeping, watching, never having left this place. Now, bound by shared purpose and stranger fates, they begin to ask the right questions. Not, what is this town? But rather, why are we here? And more dangerously still, what wakes the hollow? What wakes when the hollow remembers? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to our players, because our players had a behind-the-scenes chat where they had an opportunity to discuss all the clues, or at least lore items, and potential things that they are discovering about Crescent Hollow. They had an opportunity to discuss amongst themselves. That is through a public role-playing channel in our Discord. If you want to participate and or watch as those communications occur, it is open to everyone to read. But who among our intrepid adventurers would like to volunteer to summarize that particular between the sessions discussion? I'm offering bonus inspiration.
Okay.
Okay. Atomic Atrox, take it away.
Okay, we're gonna summarize. So we all shared our notes that we investigated and found. And then we started discussing all of that. Oh my god, there's a lot we wrote. Oh gosh. We talked about the medallions that he's got 3 of them, and they all seem to be relatively similar. Also, we have the vision was shared finally. I believe Nightingale told us all of his dream and of the vision, and we agreed that something's coming because Umber confirmed that she was tracking the ley quakes and energy when she found Little Bird, and it might be heading this way, which is concerning because it's a binding site. And there might be a dragon because of our vision, so who knows? We all decided this seems a bit too much to be coincidence. So we all have a purpose to be here, and we all should at least, maybe not fully trust each other yet, but work together to figure out what is going on, because there's just a lot. There's all of us are lay touched in some way. Got these lay touched children here. Got the binding site here. And Allie also agreed with this being a binding site and possibly a vault. Terrible things should probably remain bound, and she's very concerned about all of this as well. I'm sorry, she's joining at the. Some of us were busy during the week, so we couldn't all get in there when we wanted to. I wanted to make sure Allie got her say in there. I think. Yeah, we mostly summed up the dream, the visions, the medallions was brought out.
Yeah, what's up with those medallions?
He kind of just laid them out, and we're like, oh.
Breadcrumbs.
We didn't get into that too far yet.
Okay. But we know that there was some strange Viramont medallions. The emblem of the kingdom clearly visible on the medallion itself. Perhaps maybe why Hawk was so quick to cover them up. In any particular case, it sounds to me like you gave us a very, very good summary. So I went ahead and threw a heroic inspiration onto your character sheet. So now that we've had an opportunity for our players and our characters to kind of interact and have a moment to just say, okay, what the heck is going on? And now that we have an understanding that we need to work together to figure out what's happening, has the party come up with a strategy and how they would like to conduct their investigation?
think we agreed we had to go talk to the townspeople next to
Fantastic.
get more information on the town and the binding site.
Are you all going together, or are you splitting up into separate groups to conduct this investigation?
That was not discussed, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe you should discuss it.
I will follow Umber.
I mean, safety in numbers, but we can cover more ground if there are more groups. We can get this done faster. If time's of the essence, it might be best.
The
think
sun
we don't know
is
how long we've
indeed
got.
moving in the sky, and you get the feeling that time is definitely of the essence.
Should we split in 2 groups or 3 groups?
I personally think we should only, if we're splitting, split into 2.
Okay. Our little bird and I and somebody else. We can go talk to the children. Someone spoke of the healer lady.
I would
possibly
like
having
to-
information.
I would like to talk to the one that took the child.
Mhm.
If I can at all avoid children, I think that's best.
I deal better with the little ones anyway. I'll go with them.
Okay.
Okay, so I know Hawk is going to avoid the children, so that sounds like Hawk is going with Alcyona to go see the druid lady, Finley. And so Theo and Umber and Nightingale are going to the kids, which means Malali.
Yeah, I got drafted the other direction. Yep.
Okay. All right, very good.
That's what happens when you don't pick.
I didn't want to pick. I said I was gonna listen and see where you needed me. So
All right, very good. So, who wants to take? I think Alcyona, having pointed out the wanted to talk to Finley. Go ahead and roll just an initiative for me, and then Hawk, you do the same. Not Hawk, Umber, you do the same, and that way I can know who we're going to go ahead and go first. All right, it looks to me that Umber's group is going to go first. So, with that being said, you make your way back into town, Umber. And the thing is that the noble's house is on the very southern side of town. And as you are making your approach, you notice that the city streets are way more busy today than they were yesterday. The locals and those who call this place home are quite out and about. The sun is in full burn today. It's a beautiful spring day, and it seems that there are preparations for somewhat of a spring festival. Pollen is certainly thick in the air, and this is before the age of Zyrtec. So hopefully you all have some way of dealing with your allergies. But in any particular case, as you are walking through this wonderful city street, a voice catches your attention. That is Theo, Umber, and Nightingale. Nightingale? Nightingale? Is that you?
Who? Where?
You
I turn toward the voice.
and you see a copper-haired young lad, an elf, maybe about 18, which is very young for elves. But he's seeming to have a bit of that teenage sort of look, gracious face. He sits there, waving at you, but he's not alone. Next to him, there's a little girl, black curly hair, bright green eyes, and a fruit
No.
cart.
No!
I rush over. Lysander! Lysander, is that you?
Lysander runs up and gives you the biggest hug, and he's so excited to see you, and he draws back and he says, "You followed me through the woods! You followed me through the woods! I'm so glad you followed me through the woods!"
As am I. I was unsure of where to go and what to follow until I saw you.
Lysander turns to his friend, the young girl. She seems to be about 12 to 13 in age, and she has a very, very pale complexion with rosy cheeks, about cute as a button. And he says to her, these are my friends. These are, she goes, oh, yeah, Umber, pointing to Umber, Nightingale, pointing to Nightingale, and Theo. Oh, Theo, do you even know?
I cock my head to the side. I don't recall having
Do I
told you
know?
my name
Oh,
or having met you.
so you don't. She looks back at Nightingale and says, oh, but the bell told me your name. It's good that you remembered. Would you like to try a fruit? She points to a fruit part, and she says, out of season bloom. These only bloom when the bell tolls, but it hasn't tolled yet. Make an Arcana check, Nightingale and Umber.
Sweet.
Is this a case where I have advantage?
This is a case where you have advantage.
Okay.
Fantastic. Umber, you know
Mhm.
that, in short, ley energy, when it begins to strongly resonate in an area, it can cause certain plants and fruits to blossom, whereas otherwise they never would. So imagine an apple tree that never actually produces fruit. Well, that is what you're seeing, and these here are fruit that are basically a bounty of ley energy. This, because you chase ley lines and try to understand them, you would recognize as a very, very rare treat. Nothing to be terribly concerned about, but because the fruit only blossoms when ley energy is strong, it does correlate with what you've been feeling about the verdant maelstrom, the storm that claimed Alarendale, that ley energy is traveling very quickly up to Crescent Hollow, if it isn't already here. And you also make the connection, it only blooms when the bell tolls. Because of your Arcana roll, you can make an association. That bell will toll when the energy makes its way here. It's an alarm.
Oh.
But there's nothing wrong with the fruit as far as you can tell. It's fruit, and she's offering it to you.
No, I don't like the little girl. She knew my name. I'm gonna not take the fruit.
I'll take a piece of fruit if you are offering. Yes, indeed.
We
Oh.
did skip breakfast. I am feeling a bit peckish, and I happen to
Lysander.
love fruit.
Lysander's like, oh yeah, the fruit's great. Yeah, I have some. Yeah, it's our treat. Our treat, only for our friends, of course.
Can I insight Lysander? He's super excited. I know we just saw each other, but I don't know that would be his normal demeanor.
Go ahead and insight Lysander.
$14.
He hasn't seen you in a long time, and he was rushing through those woods because he was scared. But he was trying to get you to safety. And so now he's just excited to see that you're alive. He's a kid. He's excited to see that you're alive.
Wonderful. Maybe we could split one then. How much do I owe you for the fruit?
Sure, it's totally free. It's yours to have. My gift to you, says Mara.
Thank you, Mara. Thank you.
All right. So let me see a
Well,
couple of things
Thank
here.
you, little boy, for helping the woods.
Okay. All right. Can you guys roll who ate?
I split mine with Lysander, but I would have started eating.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I took it, I was going to eat it. So
All right, fantastic. You two go ahead and make a 1d6. Roll a 1d6
gosh.
for me.
Yes, sir. Oh, joy, that's a 6.
Okay, fantastic. Nightingale Song, we'll start with you. A familiar voice begs for mercy. It's yours? Question mark. I mean, you are a Kenku after all. Is it yours? Then you look down at yourself for a brief moment, and then up, and you notice masked figures raising a blade. The fruit in your hand is rotting, and so is the truth. Mara, sensing your alarm, says, I hope you don't remember that one, and that it never comes to pass. Be careful. Theo.
Mm-hmm.
The hollow breathes. The ground pulses like a heartbeat, and every step you take leaves roots behind. You kneel to dig and find your own hand buried in the soil, clutching a sigil you've never seen. But now, you know how to draw it. It is etched in your memory. Mara suddenly looks quizzically at you. Oh. Would you be one who binds, one who heals? Perhaps. It is good that you're here, and she smiles. The Hollow is a place of many secrets. I only understand them sideways. But maybe you can make some sense of it. She holds up a fruit to Umber. Maybe you too can learn something.
You talk in fancy ways that I don't like.
Only sideways, but always the truth.
What does that mean?
Do I see any fire?
There is a passerby who overhears this conversation a little bit. It's like kind of like just imagine a Karen, but she's being nice today, and she just kind of goes, "Oh, that's just Mara. Touched by the lay, that one, but very nice." And kind of gives a reassuring glance as she walks on by. This is a small village. Everyone knows everyone here.
Oh,
Dungeon Master.
I'll eat the fruit.
All right, yes, Theo.
Sorry, do I see any fire in her words?
No, none whatsoever.
Beautiful, thank you.
I will let you know if you do.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, I won't keep.
No,
you
it's a tick I have with you now.
That's fine.
All right, what did you roll?
I didn't roll anything yet.
All right, let's hit it.
6 you said?
1d6. Let's see what you get. If it's a 2 or a 6, you got to re-roll. It's a 1. Okay,
It's a 1.
fantastic. All right, good. All right. For a brief moment, you find yourself running. Not alone. There are shapes that blur beside you. The sky is green. Trees bend to block your path. Something behind you whispers your real name. But it's one you don't remember choosing. And you flash back to where you are. Mara nods. One of many possibilities. One I hope you don't ever face.
What is that?
Your paths are clouded. What you decide to do? Who you decide to follow? Well, that determines your fate, as it does for all of us. But always remember, and don't forget, the bell tells me that the first toll is a warning. The second toll brings fire. And the 7th? Death. I hope you like the fruit. Very rare bloom.
Does everyone who eats your fruit get visions?
Only those who are, well, sensitive to the lay. It's a very sweet fruit. It tastes really good. I mean, like, it's really nice. You could tell. It's not quite like an apple or a pear, but it's along those lines. But just imagine it as being not as sour, just the right amount of sour, and kind of buttery sweet. It's a very tasty fruit.
Where did you pick these fruits?
Oh,
Nearby?
from the cherry blossoms around the bell tower.
Oh, okay.
Would you happen to be able to spare one more of those?
Sure. And she hands it to you.
I've got a friend who could truly use some inspiration. I'm gonna kind of pocket it.
All right. Lysander is pretty much just kind of gripping Nightingale. They're kind of like, I suppose, having a moment as he's also eating the fruit.
Absolutely, and
Lysander.
Nightingale's holding on to him just as tightly.
Lysander takes another bite of the fruit and he goes, the fruit tells me I know it to be true, and I always knew you bring healing in your wings. I'm so glad you're here. And this is a very authentic, like childlike fondness that I would imagine you would have when you know, older teen. But him, he's an elf, so he's still kind of young. But it's very authentic.
I bring healing with my wings. I do hope so. The past few days, I've needed a bit of healing myself.
Were you? No, you weren't involved in that fighting yesterday, were you?
I was, actually, if not for Theo here. I believe he is the one who got me back up when I fell. And Umber, she's the one who escorted me to the town.
Lysander
following
rushes
you.
to Theo mid-sentence and just gives Theo a big hug. Thank you for taking care of my friend. Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, just not so tight.
And he lets go and he backs away slowly. He goes, you have much to do, much to talk to. You've learned all you really can from us, right, Mara? She kind of looks at Lysander with a cheeky grin. Yeah. Although, they might want to pay a visit to the tavern. You meet my dad.
Saying
Of
that?
course, we are looking for information. Yes, Umber? Theo?
Yeah, but who said their father was it Mara or the sailor?
Mara was saying my father is
Mara.
the tavern owner. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, tavern's as good a place as any to find some information. But we should swing by and talk to the first plan first, and then the tavern after, I think.
Okay. And so with that, we're going to turn our attention back to the other three. That would be Alcyona, Hawk, and Malali. Now, you did not have far to walk. When you come in through the north gate, you find what seems to be a druid's home. Very large estate. And I'll go ahead and actually take us over there now. There it is. And you are there inside of the druid's home. Not inside, you're outside of it. There's some lights that flicker, and there are lots of roots. Various odds and ends of flowers and bushes. There's a little well outside. And it's a very, very quaint building, but definitely one that seems like it's been there for quite some time. There are elements of trees and dirt and root that seem to have intertwined themselves into the building, and quite frankly, it's obvious that Finley's a druid, and it would only make sense that she would prefer a home, if it were inside the zone of a city, to be well, grown over.
I walk up to the door and politely give it a knock.
And as you give it a knock, there is no answer. But a bird does make its perch next to you on an awning. Not an awning. What would you call, like, a deck railing? Yeah, like imagine there's a deck railing on a patio, and it just sort of lands and it looks at you quizzically. Head turning.
I look back at it and tilt my head.
It tilts again.
Is that bird
Oh.
copying you?
I have a feeling it's a familiar. Where is your master?
kind of jumps around a little bit and then flies in towards the center square.
I suspect the druid or healer or whatever they are is that way. And I point towards the direction that the bird has gone in.
Pretty much just flew straight into the city center. And there are quite a few people that are kind of walking and wading their way through in the center of town. It's very possible that maybe she's off running an errand or meeting with someone to get help or delivering a report. Who knows? But if you seem to think that maybe this bird was there as a guide or a helper, it's up to you to follow it.
I knock again a bit more loudly just in case on the
Do you want me-
door.
Is the door locked?
As soon as you mention is the door locked, there are some roots that suddenly grow through the lock and the bindings as though to hold it firmly in place.
Oh, that answered my question. It's like they're listening to us. I think we have to follow the bird.
It is a druid's home. Also, why do you wonder if people's doors are locked?
I come from a big place. Lots
What-
of
what?
doors would lock things there, and there's things that can happen to people's houses if doors aren't locked.
The
Oh,
roots really start to
okay.
hold tight on the lock now. It's
Yeah,
And I'm
I'm
kind of
with
like
you,
grin while
Roots.
I'm
It's
saying
weird.
that. Yeah, and
Just
I'm like,
stop while you're ahead, please.
Okay, I think we should leave because you're upsetting the house.
oh. I'll. If you leave the bird, I'll go with too. I'm not gonna follow.
Yes, I'm going to see if the bird knows.
all right. So as the three of you head towards city center, and it is like the market is a buzz. There's all sorts of people out and about. You could ignore the caravan and all you people here. We'll just kill you guys real quick, okay? That'd be great. All right, cool. Well, let's just you guys don't need to be there anymore. There we go. We can leave the wagons though. Those are cool. All right, cool. And yeah, so you guys are in the city center, and like I said earlier, it's a spring day, and there's all sorts of chirping out and about. The birds are out there. The pollen is thick in the air. It's a really, really nice day. And as you're walking through the city center, there is a little bit of commotion coming a little bit further down the road on the big gates, and that is due to a few of the local guards and constables as they're coming through, and they are visiting various merchants, and they're doing what appears to be a regularly scheduled collection of taxes. It's not that they're necessarily being rough and tumble about it, but they're being a little rough and tumble about it, if you know what I mean. Very gruff voices as they begin sort of making their way towards you. And then suddenly, well, you'll need to make a perception check. All three of you.
Okay.
Sweet.
I noticed nothing.
Hawk, with your roll of 20, you feel a little something brush up against your backside. A tall tale sign. Someone has just taken your coin purse. And not just yours, those of your companions as well. You turn and you see, well, a diminutive figure, small, with strangely curled and rooted up hair, branches and twigs coming out of it, leaves for outfit. As this little halfling, along with your coin pouches, is heading the opposite direction, back towards the north side of the gate.
So, you two like your money? Because that
Huh?
little one just took it.
What?
Yeah. You got.
I
I immediately start heading behind them. Not at a run because there's just too many people, but in a very efficient squeezing through manner to chase this individual down.
All
This
right.
isn't the old lady, is it?
Well, you only saw her once, but you don't know too many other old ladies who wears clothes out of leaves and has twigs
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and roots growing through their hair.
I didn't want to assume.
As soon as he mentions our money's taken, I'm going that way too. If I can see where the person was.
I follow these two.
Fantastic. So as you are following those two, you do catch up to her. How would you like to get her attention?
Are we like right next to her? Or...
I mean, you caught up to her. Yeah.
I mean, Hawk was in the lead, so I think it's up to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything. I was reaching out to grab her. So if you want to say something before I actually make contact with her, that's up
As
to
your
y'all.
hand is out to grab her, suddenly, a root from the ground slashes up, tosses your hand to the side, and she turns, and she holds a finger to her lips. Shh. Now, darling. You wouldn't want to make a stir.
So you're just trying to get our attention? Are we supposed to keep walking with you?
I don't know what matter of things you're talking about. She smiles coyly.
Not riddles again.
I mean, I'm sure you think this is very cute, but I would like my money back, please.
Your money? Oh, I have no need for money.
No, but other people probably do, and you strike me as the sort.
And you strike me as the sort who doesn't know how brightly you burn, and how far people could see you from.
What does that even mean?
It means you might want to turn around.
Oh,
And as you turn around, you notice that the guards who were the tax collectors from the High Crown have now made it up to you, and one of them goes, "Oi, these here be the new ones. Yeah, I don't recall collecting anything from you. Check the ledger. Check the ledger." Now there's a whole group of people kind of hanging around you, and they seem to be of an official type. And they're checking the records and the logs, and naturally, as you come into town, your names were recorded. Coming into town, it's a bit of administration that I didn't feel the need to cover in your session 0. It happened. And you're being made aware that those who reside in the town for a period of, like at least overnight, would typically have to pay their lodgings at the inn. But you didn't stay at the inn. And this is sort of the summary of the entire conversation. Well, you didn't stay at the inn, so you didn't actually pay a tax, and therefore you owe a tax plus a penalty being a percentage of your current holdings, 5% of your current holdings. And so it ends up being, basically you owe, roughly, 2 gold pieces, and then some.
Alcyona smiles and goes, "Oh, I see, I understand. Gentlemen, perhaps next time somebody could avail us of that information. That would be very helpful. Sir Graven, who kindly let us stay with him, did not mention it to us, nor did any of the very diligent guards who ushered us inside and insisted that we stay without relating this information, but I'm afraid, gentlemen,
no,
you
no,
have
no. You're
forced
getting
us-
something a bit twisted here, lady.
No, sir.
Wait,
Unfortunately, you have
Sir
forced us in a
Graven's
bit of a
personal
predicament.
guard and constables ain't got nothing to do with here High Crown. And
I
you
mean,
were
by the way,
advised
sir-
upon checking in that various fees would be collected at the inn if you were to stay overnight. Sure,
Well, the inn is not open, sir.
maybe the intricacies of the taxes wasn't made clear.
Either way, sir, it's academic. You'll find that none of us have any coin whatsoever on us.
Turn
Yeah.
over your pockets. Let's see.
I do so immediately.
And I'm gonna be like patting around, like I definitely would pay. And I'm gonna turn my pockets out. I
Hawk,
have
who
nothing.
came into this town with no money, was just like, yeah, whatever.
Then Finley steps forward. Oh, now, gentlemen, you said the cost was 2 gold pieces plus 5% of their current holdings. It seems to me that, it's just 2 gold per. Would you agree? Boy, well, I'm just saying as it's not typical. I mean, one of you seems like a merchant, the other, some type of brigand, and then another brigand, but with the sailor's coat.
Those are very rude assumptions.
And in any particular case, a brigand that's a poor brigand ain't a brigand at all. Off with you. Finley, if they don't pay, you do. Oh, it'd be no problem. No problem at all. I'll make sure they pay their taxes. The guards kind of, in their moment of defeat, realizing there was nothing to collect, and they're not about ready to shake you down for physical property. It seems like maybe that's a stretch too far. But satisfied with Finley's agreement to cover in the case you don't, they wander off. And Finley just turns around and leaves.
Gonna follow
Excuse
her.
me.
Yeah, I'm going to continue following her.
Oh, now it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. You know, just, everybody comes in hard times once in a while.
Uh-huh. Perhaps we can talk about those hard times in private.
Where would you like to talk, young lass? This is a town of few people and not too much going on.
Well, more than anything, other than the hard times we have currently found ourselves upon, I would like to talk about the charge that you were left with the other evening.
Oh, you speak
young
of the
child.
boy, yes?
Yes.
And the
And
boy,
we can have that conversation out here if you'd like.
is he a nephew of yours, or perhaps maybe is he, like a distant family member, a relative?
No.
I don't see
But,
what it has to do with you, child.
well,
I protected that entire caravan on its way here.
Yes, I remember. You were there in Sir Gryden's estate.
Yes.
I have an interest in the child's condition.
She breathes in deeply. And seeing as the lad still breathes on account of your heroics, can have a discussion. Please, allow me to bring you to my home. And so she turns again and she walks away. But she's walking toward her home, and you know, she's strangely, and this is indeed very strange as you kind of follow her, that she is a very short old lady, and her steps are definitely slow and short. Yet she moves at a very brisk, normal pace, as though she were taking full lively steps, perhaps full lively steps of even a medium-sized creature. Doesn't take much
I look at my
perception.
companions.
Doesn't take
go-
much perception to see that the roots carry her along.
I look at my companions and go, well, this will be interesting.
I'm really curious on what's in that house.
What is it with you in the house?
I like people's houses.
That's strange.
No. Don't you have
Yes.
things you like?
Well, you're getting an invite into the house now, so hopefully it doesn't stab you or something. I don't know.
We'll see. That would be just as interesting.
You're very strange. I go to follow the small halfling.
All right.
I just shrug at Smoke and follow.
Well then, so as you all approach the druid's house, allow me a moment to bloop, and turn back. And now you can see the druid's house. There it is. Nice. All right, so you return back up the familiar porch. And Finley comes up to her door, the roots very tightly strung over the door. She goes, "Oh, poor house. Who upset you so? Please, you may release your hold." And the roots kind of like quiver a little bit, and then she sort of like, she just takes this twig from out of her leaf jacket and just starts hitting the roots. No, get out of the way, get out of the way. Surely nothing terrible is here. And then the roots kind of move out of the way, and the door opens.
I may have made a joke.
What has gotten into these roots, but they're not too fond of you looking to the bard. And so if you don't mind, my pet will take a perch upon your shoulder. It's the only way the house will acquiesce to my request. And then suddenly, a raven lands on your shoulder.
Ooh.
It
Can I
leans
pet it?
forward and turns, and its beak is looking straight into your eyes. Its dark, beady eyes just sort of looks in at you.
I just smile at it. I was just a joke, and I'll just walk in with it, or if she lets us in.
I look at Hawk and nudge him and go, he has to be babysat. And walk into the house.
The Finley escorts you in, and this is a druid's house. I mean, like, from the outside, it looks like there's bricks and there's wood and there's, shingles and a proper home. But from the inside, it's dirt. It's tree. It's leaves and branches and shrubs, but it's kind of aligned in a way to be cozy. Even the furniture is different parts living and breathing plant life. And it's not a rugged experience, but rather a very calm, homey experience. It is, in fact, comforting to be here. This is a very old dwelling. And it seems that she has spent quite a long time here. I mean, considering her age. Maybe much of her life has been spent here. And then she offers you a seat at a table. A table of root, timber never cut, with a very smooth top. Not cut like by a saw, but imagine if a tree just decided to grow flat. And that's what you see.
So I'm going to look. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at the layout of the room and put myself where my back is essentially closest to where I can see all entrances, including windows into this.
So you put your back against a wall?
Basically, yeah.
You kind of, as you put your back up against the wall, some of like the roots and the twigs in the tree, like sort of vines behind you, kind of like draw you in.
Yeah, no. Stepping away.
As you step away, they lightly let go.
Is your house always this friendly?
Oh, this house is just doing what it's supposed to do. Keep troublemakers out.
Guests.
And allow guests to feel at home. And if you don't feel at home, dearie, then perhaps maybe it's I who should be concerned.
Let's just say I don't feel it.
You are in my house. You will be a guest, and if you cannot behave, you can leave. You have nothing to fear here. What can I, a little old lady, do to you anyways?
I snort very briefly.
Now please have a seat. I will not entertain rude guests.
Oh, I sat down immediately as she offered.
I
Yeah,
will,
I'm
I will
feeling
sit,
how
but
smooth the
again, I'm
table
going
is.
to try to put myself where I can see the majority of the entrances into the room.
But you're seated?
Yeah, I'm sitting.
All right, very well. And Malali, what are you doing?
Oh, he sat down right away too, and he's like, "Oh my god, this table is so smooth." As he's just like feeling it up.
Now, you see Finley's in the back, and she's sort of stirring a pot, and then she puts the spoon down, and as she does, it's like a branch comes over, picks up the kettle, while another branch delivers saucers and teacups with mint tea leaves already at the bottom of the cups, and the branch pours the kettle for Alcyona first, Malali second, and Hawk, for whatever reason, the service isn't as good for you. But your tea does eventually come.
I have a question regarding the tea. Do I recognize what the leaves are?
It's tea.
Yeah, but like, there are many kinds of tea.
Sure, maybe it would be more like a, I said mint. I did say mint. Yes, like a mint.
Oh, sorry, I missed
Yeah.
you saying mint.
It's like a mint tea leaf. Yeah, it's meant to not put you to sleep, kind of wake you up a little bit and freshen your breath.
I'll definitely taste mine right away.
Fair enough.
And it's got just the right bit of sweetness, the kind of sweetness you would expect to get from Grandpa's house.
Delicious. Thank you.
Oh, yes, now. I entertain this because you're here. You came. Why?
Well,
She's very stern with the why.
are we talking why did we come to the Hollow, or why did we bother you to come to your house?
Yes.
I see. Well, for my part, I am here hunting a specific regent that I have been given a contract for. And honestly, you're probably the best person to ask about it. But that was sort of became my secondary concern after everything that happened.
A reagent? What kind of
Yes.
reagent are you looking for, young lady?
I pull out the contract and I unroll it and show her. Given the fact that you haven't told me what the reagent is specifically.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, I don't have any notes for it though.
All right. You are looking for an alchemical anomaly, which is reported near Crescent Hollow. These are salt-crested reeds, which would grow in freshwater marshes, and then there's also fish with glowing blood. The problem is that Crescent Hollow isn't a place where they normally appear. And these are very strange sightings indeed. It's a very rare material. And the fact they started appearing would have definitely caught certain merchant mongers' attention.
Gotcha. I share that information with her.
Fish that glow. There are many varieties, especially in the deep seas, the oceans. But up here in freshwater, it is a bit strange indeed. Salt-crested reeds, you say?
Yes, quite so.
Yes, there are a few things in bloom that ought not bloom. And perhaps your coming here made them. She seems a bit stern. What about you? Looking to Malali.
Oh, I actually have a few questions. You seem
Answer
like
my
you're-
question first. You're in my house and you came here as
Oh,
my
yes.
guest. What brings you to the Hollow?
Well, that actually is one of my questions. I'm looking for someone. And I was wondering if you might know who they might be.
There's
old
all
tide
sorts of
caller?
people here in the Hollow. Don't let the others fool you. There's lots of folk coming and going. Lots happening all the time, everywhere. Just because no one talks doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but I see it.
Okay. No, I'm looking for a tide collar, an old tide collar. And I'm supposed to deliver
Far
them
from
on
the oceans you are for a tide collar.
that. Yeah, I was told they were here. Unless my dad just wanted to get rid of me, which is totally possible.
Finley kind of smiles, closes her eyes and breathes in deeply and goes, Yes, but he wasn't the one who sent you for the tide collar, now was he? If you would recall, you were tasked by a house whisper keeper to deliver a sealed letter to a retired tide caller, now living in seclusion near Crescent Hollow.
But I'm blaming my father because he exiled me.
No.
So that's how I'm drawing the lines there.
Oh, no, there's a few key words here. Retired tide caller. You recall Sir Graven told you that there once was a tide caller who had passed away.
Right.
He hinted that she's dead.
Right.
So Finley tells you, well, there are none here who call themselves tide callers, at least not anymore. Unfortunate. We once had one. some time ago. Long, long ago, really. Disappeared, that one. Suppose she returned to the sea.
That's the second time that's been said to me. Of course. Nope. But yeah, that is what I'm on a mission for. And that's all I have for questions, I guess, too. Well, I have other questions.
So you came here for this now long retired tide collar?
Yes.
And why do you linger?
Linger where? Here? In your house?
Here in the hollow.
I'm not sure.
She turns her attention to Hawk. What brings you here?
Would you believe breadcrumbs?
I believe that something often stirs behind you. I would believe that you're here for legacy, child. Some might even say you're haunted. Do not think I cannot see the nature of your lay. They might not be able to, but they will. You might not be able to, but you will. He lingers here, even now, screaming, begging, urging. Care to know what he says?
I'd rather not.
Well, very well, suit yourself. But you didn't come all this way for nothing, now did you?
Well, an old note, an old report, something about this town. I believe my grandfather was here once. I don't know why, but I keep finding these. And he takes out the handful of metals and kind of puts it on and under the flesh of things.
And tell me, what happened to your grandfather, child? He's passed, yes?
Yes.
How?
To be honest, I don't know.
And that is why you came. So the truth lies in all of you. It just depends on whether or not you wish to tell it. So now I'll tell you my truth. Or at least the truth of this hollow. The boy. You came about the boy, yes?
Yes.
The boy has nothing to do with old tie collars, salt-crusted reeds, or, well, ghastly grandfathers, if you know what I mean. But yet you're here for the boy. What is it about the boy?
His sickness bothers me.
It bothers you, it does. It also bothers others in this town. That's why I brought him here. It depends on how it bothers you. Does it bother you that he is the way he is? Or does it bother you that he still breathes? But yet you saved this boy's life. So I don't think it bothers you he still breathes like it bothers some others.
It bothers me that he is not well.
Fair enough. Does it bother you the same way? Looking to Malali and Hawk.
Bothers me that there's some force tying all of us here.
That's not answering my question. Does it bother
It's
you
not.
that the boy is ill?
A little?
You come here wanting not to talk in riddles, and I'm talking plainly, and you will not give me a direct answer. A little. It bothers you a little that the boy is ill? He's a boy. He's young. Not old enough to be responsible for all of his transgressions. Still learning the way of the world, like you should have learned a long time ago. She echoes a bit of something your father might have told you, and then she looks to Hawk. And what of you? Does it bother you that the boy is ill?
Are you going to badger me the way you badgered him?
Well,
no matter
you
how I-
defended that poor child. I would hope it
I
does
would
bother
do
you.
it again.
So it does bother you. No, the only badgering happens when you talk in veiled riddles and half-truths. We have no time for that. Too old to play these games.
Got that right.
She's kind of impatient with Malali, but to the others, she's regarding a little bit better. The bird on your shoulder kind of pecks at your hair a little bit, not painfully, just irritated, Malali. But in any particular case, the boy will recover. It'll take some time. Got some fruit from the trees, out of season bloom. But it should get him on the right track, compared with other medicines and other remedies. But it will take time. I am concerned that the forces that went for his life will soon come for yours, if you are not careful.
May I ask a favor of you? Two, in fact, I suppose.
She smiles. Oh,
Which-
yes, dearie. Anything. How can I help? Her demeanor towards you is very different than the others.
Firstly, I would learn, if you would be kind enough, how you are helping the boy.
As I
There is someone that I am responsible for that suffers greatly, and I would learn anything I can to help them.
She nods, of course. It is a kind of an alchemical remedy. This is a bit different than my normal. But you see, when one's lay becomes corrupted, which you've seen the result of that, it is very difficult to recover. A young lad's lay was corrupted by the creature. The energy that binds the young lad to this land, to the world, just like it does all of us, has been tainted, poisoned, much like what's been happening around the whole world. Luckily, we got to him in time. He would have woken on his own eventually, but different, changed. Thanks to the resurgence of some energy in the area, I was able to concoct a remedy that should stabilize and remove the toxins from his lay energy, and over time, it is likely he will recover. But you three, yes, touched by the lay, all three of you are, yep. You need to be careful. Well, what happened to the young lad could happen to you.
What do you mean by that?
There are those who wish, well, let's say, that their perspective of things in the world motivates them to do rather unsavory things, though they think that what they do is right, but unsavory all the same. If you get caught up with them, you may very well be changed. They would tell you that you've awakened to the truth. I would tell you you'd be lost in a cult. A dangerous cult. One you must stay away from. Surely you've heard of it. The Circle of Ash. And you all have heard of the Circle of Ash. They're crazy cultists. And what you would know of the Circle of Ash is simply they could be your neighbor. They could be anyone. But most people disregard it entirely as myth and fairy tale because, well, if there was this crazy cult running around, wouldn't we have seen something of it? And so for the most part, it goes ignored. But every once in a while, when something strange happens in a town, the Circle of Ash tends to get the blame, but whispers of their comings and goings quickly goes away.
Do you mean to say that they have a presence here?
Oh, they have a presence everywhere. You could be your neighbor. Could be the whore at the local brothel. Could be the tavern keep. Could even be a little girl peddling fruit. Who knows?
May I ask, and this would be my other favor, that you tell me true. Why are you here knowing what's below?
What do you believe is below?
What do you believe is below?
The dirt.
Well, yes.
She's got
But
you.
what makes the hollow the hollow?
Well, back in 238, there was a group of settlers who landed in this region and began to build what would eventually become a checkpoint for armed forces between Vermont and Arundel. You see, at the time, the two kingdoms were at a bit of a war. This was, some say, 400, 500 years ago, yes? And you see, they needed a place to fortify. This ended up becoming a bit of a fortress, but today it's a checkpoint of sorts for the High Crown. To see the comings and goings, to maintain the peace, to prepare for the defense of the realm. You know, all that history hullabaloo.
Yes, quite.
She is trying to give you the most honest answer she can.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm listening intently. I'm not being glib.
As for anything under the hollow, well, again, it's dirt.
And what lies under the dirt?
An interesting question you ask.
Isn't it?
What lies under the dirt, except for maybe more dirt? What kind of answer could you possibly be searching for? For there are several.
Well, one that does not end in you saying dirt, I suppose, and I laugh in a good-natured way.
Well, after the dirt, there's more dirt, then there's more dirt, and then some would say there is the core of the planet, whatever that could be.
Mm-hmm. And nothing else, simply dirt.
Well, you know just as well as I do about the binding fracture just outside my home. And what do you suppose the bindings are, child?
I mean, I know what bindings are firsthand.
Oh, what are they? You say you know? I'm not even sure I know.
Locked away.
Say again?
They keep bad things locked away.
Well, bindings are old magic. Old chains. Keep the world from falling apart.
Then what's here that might make the world fall apart?
The ley is like the lifeblood of the world. This we know, and we use the ley to craft our magics. You enjoy a little bit of magic in your brews, of course, as I do mine. Even a little bit of magic in this house. It's all a gift of the ley. Binding points are places where the ley are strongest, where it emits the most. And they go straight into the core of this world. It's what binds the planet together. It's what keeps our world whole. And what happens should the bindings fail? And the world becomes unthreaded. And if the world becomes unthreaded, What of you? What of the Hollow? What of the whole planet? Well, we cease to be.
The one here is fractured, though.
Indeed. There is a fractured binding, but there has yet to be a rupture. You would recognize a rupture is when a binding fully breaks. So a fracture is kind of like a fractured bone. Bone ain't totally, it ain't like you got your arm right here and just dangling, right? No. But it's fractured, right? A rupture is when the bone fully breaks. That has not happened yet. And that you would know.
What would cause a rupture here?
Well, she kind of looks back as though there's no building in her way whatsoever, and you could tell she's looking back towards the bell tower. I'd say, if you remember, and when you're where you ought to be when the bell tolls, you'll find out for yourself what a rupture is. And with that, I've said too much. And now, before my hospitality gets the better of me, I think it's time that you all went on your way. Up, time to go. And she tosses you all your coin purses.
I was just about to say.
Before I leave, I would like to be the last out, if possible. And
That's fine, I'm out. I got my money back.
On the edge of the table, of her very impressive, oddly smooth table.
Yes.
I place the elixir of anchored mind on the edge of it. And I just say, a gift for your time, and leave.
She needs to roll her arcana, because yours is a little bit different than what she's seen before.
Different flavor of alchemy.
Oh, yeah, no. She raises a brow. Been exploring the forbidden spaces, have we? Perhaps how you were touched by the lay, of course. She, remind me what that potion does. I don't have your notes up on my screen.
Yeah, no worries. I will also say to her, misspent youths teach us many things. It cures confusion, madness, or memory fractures caused by binding echoes.
She nods and she says, she takes it. This might just be what our young lad needs. Thank you.
That was my hope. And that was why I wanted to see you. Thank you.
She is very, suddenly relieved upon having this. And she's very giddy getting you out of the house. Which of course the house helps her do. As any hesitations to your departure are quickly dissuaded by roots and grasping trees and vines sort of ushering you out of the house, you can be heard heading up what seems to be a flight of stairs, there is a light through the window of the room there, and you can hear her say, "All right, young lad, open your eyes just briefly. I've got a new juice for you to drink. Bitter, salty, briny maybe, but it's what you need." And so for what you could tell, she didn't hide nothing. She went immediately to administer the medicine to the young lad. All right.
Good to know.
For a moment, I thought you were going to put down the mimic one. I thought that would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah, for a second, I thought the same thing. I thought that's the one. At the beginning, she's like, I'm like, oh, wait, is she under the What the? And then I listened for a little. And I listened for a little longer. And oh, okay, no, it's not that one.
How dare you?
Wow.
Thanks for all the info, old lady. Drink this.
We all know what you think of Allie now.
Wow. All right, let's turn our attention back over to Theo, Umber, and Nightingale. Admittedly, you coming back to Sir Graven's estate, and Sir Graven's nowhere to be found. There are a few caregivers around. They're having tea and crumpets, and they're kind of relaxed. There's some of the older children about, but they are, well, they're doing what older children do. A little mouthy. They're a little talk-backish, antsy. But nothing really there to catch your attention. The younger ones are in town playing. And it's really difficult to determine if they're some of the late touch children or if they're some of the children that are just native to the town. There's nothing in particularly interesting occurring at Sir Graven's estate at this time.
Can I approach some of the older children that are here?
I mean, you can. They're just a bunch of kiddos who are doing what older kiddos do. Everything from reading a book quietly in a corner to kind of getting uppity with some of the caregivers, slamming doors, that kind of thing. And the caregivers are like, for in those particular small moments, they're very, but again, there's really nothing of note occurring at the estate.
Can I approach someone who's like reading a book?
Sure. So you see a teenage girl, probably 15, 16, kind of in a corner. It is still spring, and though the sun's out, the air is still very cool. So there's a little bit of an ember in the fireplace as she reads a book.
Can I see the title of the book?
Oh, you want to roll? Let's see here. What are you investigating this kid? If you would like, go ahead and roll an investigation.
Oh my god, I'm so good at that.
So with a 13, she is reading a book about draconic origins and histories of Arwindale from ages past. This would strike you as odd reading material.
Yeah.
And it is written in a language and a script that you are not familiar with, other than the title.
I'm gonna guess it's
the title is written in common, but everything else is written in something else.
Hello, little one. Sorry to disturb your reading.
Are you? She looks up from the book.
I mean, kinda, yes.
You were one who saved us yesterday.
One of many, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Interesting book you have.
It's about dragons.
Did you bring that with you, or did you find it here?
It was in the bookshelf, and she points to the bookshelf like it's literally right behind her. You appear to be. You're in a study. There's books everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I just had a couple questions, but a lot of the children from yesterday are spread out. So, because we're trying to figure out, what caused what happened yesterday to stop it from happening again. So you guys are all traveling together? Are you guys all like from the same place?
She kind of looks side to side, and this young lady who's now that you're kind of sitting there having and engaged in a conversation with her, she is definitely half elven, but her hair is sort of darker, like a dark brown, so definitely more of the human side of the house. And she looks around and kind of eyes the caregivers, and she goes, "We're not really supposed to talk about anything."
Oh. Did someone tell you that?
Well, at first we didn't think much of it, but after we got attacked by wolves, she looks to Theo. Thanks, by the way.
Anytime.
And then we got attacked by a crazed, demon creature. I think, yeah. I ought not tell people where we're going or what we're doing. That seems like a smart thing for me to do, yeah. She gets, she kind of takes that angsty teenage approach to it. Like, yeah.
Well, from what I can tell, it's you're being hunted because you're late touch, like we are.
She just kind of sits in silence and says nothing.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know more because I was hoping... You know what? Okay.
I don't know what. I know what.
You're not going to tell me anything, are you, little one?
Again.
Even though
We've
I'm
been
trying
attacked
to
by
figure this
wolves.
out.
We have been attacked by wolves. Okay. And crazy demon people. We thought that the caravan driver was cool, and then suddenly he turns into a shrieking monster, and now Gaddy's in trouble.
Who?
Gaddy.
When-
Gaddy. She says
Oh.
again with a hard G. Gaddy. Is in
Trouble how?
The boy who was unconscious? How?
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't know his name. My other friends are checking in on him now.
Why are you so interested in us?
Well, you're late touched like we are, and a bad guy showed up when you showed up. And we're just trying to figure out what's going on in this town. Like, why are we all here at the same time?
Oh, we're not
just
from
seemed more
this
like coincidence.
town. We're not
figured
from
that.
here, yeah.
Okay, you don't have to tell me where you're from. Are you guys all from the same place?
We're together now.
Okay.
Look,
Will you
lady,
all-
you're trying to tell me to do things that I have been told not to do, and you're trying to get me to talk when I have been told not to talk. And
Who
it's
told
and
you?
it's like, look, come on, look around you. The caregivers, the adults, the people who are responsible for protecting us.
Okay. I was just hoping to help.
I mean, like, look, we
I just
appreciate
know
we
nothing.
obviously appreciate that you were there to protect us, but at the end of the day, I don't want to say something that then suddenly comes back and hurts us again. Okay?
No, that's fair. Well, I hope you stay safe.
Okay. She turns back to her book. Very clearly
I got-
enjoying the read.
I got nothing here, you guys.
Mm.
I was hoping to get the information and I got nothing. I'm sorry. You want to go to tavern to talk to creepy child's father?
Why is she creepy?
The way she talks,
creepy.
BW, the
She
way
talks
she talks.
sideways.
Exactly, that's the problem.
Uh, yes, I suppose we could make our way over to the tavern. They said the children were out, the younger ones were out playing in the street, so maybe we might run into them as well on our way. Who knows? We might
Yeah,
get some
but
answers
apparently
there
they've
as
been
well.
told not to talk.
Well, I have ways to make people talk. Don't worry about that.
That's kind of concerning, actually.
Is it?
Sorry.
The way he said it, yeah, he was like, "I got a ways to make people
Oh,
talk."
wait, yeah. That's very, very, that is concerning. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. That's real bad.
Yeah,
Not-
can I ask talk to one of the adults here real quick as we leave?
I'm going to save you some time.
I was just
You're
ask if
gonna
there's a
get
place to
the
send.
same nonsense back that they can't
No,
talk
not
to
that. Not about that. I was just asking if they know a place in town where I can send a letter.
you. Where to send a letter?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the house servants would be able to send a letter.
Okay. I will be back then to send a letter.
Okay. All right, so you
Yeah,
guys are headed off to the
answers me.
tavern now?
Yeah.
Yee
Yeah.
to the tavern.
All right, so the noble's house is actually not too far from the north gate, which is where a lot of the guard outpost is. Most of the caravan traffic will enter in through this gate as they come in through Viramont. I'm sorry. This is actually the south gate, and forgive me, let me just rotate my brain a little bit. This is in towards Alwindale. Actually, it's more traffic that is more or less coming in from Vermont to the south, and that's where the gate happens to be. In this particular case, I know I was a bit disoriented earlier in how things were moving, because technically our caravan was supposed to come in from the north. So we'll just pretend that this was always the north, and we'll just flip everything around and don't worry about it. Anyways, so we're going to go up here towards this end. So over here, this building is where the tavern is. And so you're walking by, coming out of this building, and you're going to be crossing the street into the tavern over here. And as you do, Theo,
Mm-hmm.
a figure wearing a large black overcoat over what appears to certainly be armor. It's hooded, but the hood is down. And a very tall, broad-shouldered man in high crown plate, and again covered. He's got a bit of a jagged scar crossing his temple, half bitten beneath a salt and pepper buzz cut. You recognize him right away as Captain Halvar Dintram, a gentleman whom you met at the gate not too long ago. And he seems to have stepped away from his business, and you could hear him kind of shouting, "Oi!" as he's shaking down merchants, barking orders. And you happen to notice he just came from a particular situation in which he had to extract contraband from a passing caravan. But he catches you out of the corner of his eye as this whole scene is unfolding, and he gives a quick instruction to one of his lieutenants to pick up where he left off, and then he continues down towards you, and he comes up alongside you, and he passes you a note.
Is he doing this like discreetly or just bluntly or?
Very bluntly.
Okay, then I would take the note.
It says, "This came from a courier. Now den. Keep
Thank
it
you.
quiet. Keep it secret. Read it some other time."
Of course, Captain.
Looks around. Who are these two?
Faithful friends. We are just
A bird and a tiefling.
both wayward wanderers.
State your
trying to get
business.
to this place.
Why are you here? Suddenly very protective of something. But he's
I
directing
came-
his full attention to you, Umber, and to Nightingale.
I came here seeking help for a little bird I found outside, injured.
Injured?
I come from a Larendale. I hold up my arm so he can see the scars.
Don't show
my-
those scars. Cover
My
them.
town has disappeared.
Cover your scars.
I put my arms back underneath my cloak.
Do not show those to anyone. Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good. Now, Larendale, I've heard, well, rumor has it it's gone. There were no survivors. So you're telling me he, pointing to the bird, this Kenku, survived?
According to me, he survived, yes.
Yes, I grew up there my entire life, but the town is gone.
Okay. Theo, you keep dangerous company. Not that they're dangerous themselves. Are you truly that naive? Have you not been briefed? Theo, you have not been briefed.
No, I'm not. I was given a barren instruction at best of why to be here.
Why are you
So-
here?
Because of a disturbance in the lay itself.
All right, maybe you need a refresher as to why you're here.
I know exactly why I'm here. It is on my notes. I'm getting back to it.
All right, cool.
You tell me, but
Yeah, I could tell you. So you have been dispatched from your quiet station near Orion Keep to investigate unusual glyph activity reported near Crescent Hollow. Rumors of ruined shrines and signs that something binding once burned there and didn't take. And it's not a formal assignment. It was a whispered summons from a silent flame contact that told you, quote, ashes don't always stay buried. If there's truth behind that town, you will feel it first.
right. Thank you, sir.
So this is not a formal assignment, just to make sure that's clear.
Yes. Secrets and Shadows is what sent me here. There was no... And I'll try to parse and speak plainly. I was told to investigate glyph activity around the area. And I'll basically explain what my missive was in an eloquent way. Something burned here and didn't take. I was told to be wary of.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, speak, boy. Out with it already. Come on.
Yes. I'm here to investigate this area and the lay in this area and the glyphs and the bindings that have broken.
Who on earth sent you on that? Look, no, it was me who asked for help. I never thought in my wildest dreams they would send you. Whoever did this. And he's frustrated.
You
He's just kind of he's very clearly agitated. And
understand.
just stay out of trouble, keep a low profile, and whatever you discover, you tell me. Got it?
Yes.
All right, go on.
And I say it in a stern way where just feels like being scolded almost.
Well, you are.
I know.
He's a captain. You're a recruit.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
They make
Umber's
no
just
qualms about
scowling.
it. He is scolding you.
Yes.
Okay. And he goes, "Oi!" looking back towards the gate. How many times have I done told you? Ain't no one go through those gates until we get a good look at them crates. You stay out of trouble. Looking back at you. And he goes off back towards the gate.
He's a dick. What's wrong with you? Why the problem send you? You seem fine.
That leaves me with more questions than answers.
He's very rude.
I mean, he's a captain. Kind of has a right to be.
That does not give you the right to be rude.
You're not from around here, are you?
No. From Darnhold.
The hierarchy of people from the High Throne is rigid, to say the least.
Oh, I get that. That doesn't mean that it's right.
Damn, nobody's ever right. What's right? Who's right? Who's wrong?
Oh man,
Right is
I'm
perception.
right.
it's existential moral dilemmas. We having this conversation headed into the tavern.
Yeah.
Walking over the tavern to grab a drink over this existential dilemma.
So as you're coming into the tavern, it's around lunchtime, and remember, it's like spring festival seasons. Everybody's kind of in a bit of a festive mood, and the tavern's no different. There's live music playing in this tavern, and maybe I think we need to go ahead and actually put on a different, a little bit of a different song here. There we go. Yeah, no. Let's do this one. There we go. Yeah, let's turn that music up a little bit here. Trying to set the mood here. Not that you guys can hear it, but our audience sure can. In any particular case. So with that being said, it is a very festive mood here in the tavern. And, you know, you got the people clapping along in song and like everybody's having a good old time. There's about at least a good 30, 40 people in here having a good old time. And most of them are congregating over towards the stage where you have the equivalent of what would be like Irish cog dancers. And there's fiddles and drums and percussion. And there's good smelling beef cooking up in the air. And you can smell the cheese and the cheddar. Because they're both the same things. You smell them both. Cheese and cheddar are the same thing. And onions. Yes. These guys are eating burgers, guys. These guys are straight up having burgers. It smells freaking dope. And the tavern barkeep, he's hanging out back. There's a few people sitting at the bar. It's in the corner to the right. And let me go ahead and at least orient ourselves to be a bit more here. This is the inn and the tavern. It's sort of a 2-in-1. So this is where you would have stayed if it weren't for Sir Gravin's hospitality. So as you come on in, the cavern bar is at the other end. And there is a fireplace going, and there's food to be had, and there is certainly an opening for the three of you to have a seat if you so desire.
I will sit as close to the fire as I can.
Very good. You're up
I
against
follow.
the fire. You follow. Theo?
I'll take my seat last after they both sit, but yeah.
All right,
welcome
and
to sit.
Bavern, my goodness, the tavern keep. Hair black as night. Though a little bit of salt and pepper happening, for the most part, hair is black as night. It's got that wavy sort of thick curl to it, and he's jolly. He's a big guy now, and he's kind of got like that tight nose, and he's tall. And they go, hey, well, come on in here. It's good to have you here. It's good to see new faces. Hey, yeah. Watch the hair. Watch your hair. You're going to catch the whole place on fire. Now, what can I do? Of course, he's pointing towards the fire hair.
Yeah. She touches it, like, kind of tries to push it down, which it just feels like fluffy hair.
If I'd say, he goes,
It's
I'm
warm, but
just
it's not
saucing
so
you
fire.
down. It ain't like the whole town has gone under flames since you've been here. Well, except for the creeper outside. Yeah, right, good, you did him. Heard you got hurt a little bit. You doing good, Missy.
Yeah. I'm guessing your little fruit girl's father?
Oh, you met Mara. Oh, Mara, she's a sweet girl, ain't she? They all say she's
Yeah.
touched by the lay, but I tell you, that's not what got laid. No. Oh, and then another guy is like, oh, not this story again. And you tell this story to anyone who comes through town. Hey, guys, done right, I did. I'm proud of it. Ain't like any of you ever sleep with a lady as fine as the one I got me. And Mara, I'm proud of her. She's the most wonderful young lady. She's the best. And none of your daughters and none of your sons can ever amount to what she can become. Now, let me tell you a story. What's she drinking? She like a boiger.
Is that a burger?
No, suddenly you kind of get the feeling that, like her father, she wants to be hospitable. That's why she offers you fruit freely.
Yeah, I would like.
You're kind of
burger
getting it.
and
All right, that's where this
curry.
comes from. Yeah. And before you even answer, he turns back 3 boigers. So you get 3 boigers. You all drink ale.
Of course.
I
Yeah.
don't drink, dulls the mind.
Little birdie, would you like me to put water in a saucepan for you?
Oh, sure, I'll take it.
In a saucepan.
So he turns and he gets the ale, 2 ale, and then he gets a little dish, saucer dish, and pours a little bit of water out from the tap and brings it back. And he goes, now let me tell you, this is the story. So a long time ago, see, I was an adventurer just like you, right? But let me tell you, it's me mum. Me mum, she was very ill. Very ill. And I was afraid she was going to die. Still alive to this day, let me tell you, it was a successful adventure. I had no luck. Looking all over, high and low. And my adventure took me into the woods down south near Arendelle. On the way down to Arendelle. Not quite all the way there, but the distance half between. Shambles these days. Be careful of the wild road. He says almost knowing that's where you came from.
Yeah, your warning comes too late.
Over there off in the wild road. There is a place that's protected, you see? There's a long... Hold on, let me pull up my notes real fast before I get too deep into the story. I didn't think you guys would actually go off and investigate this little girl's dad. Hold on, I got the note, I just gotta bring it up. I'm going by memory, but I want to make sure I get this right. Alright, let's see here. Where is my home NPC master document? Bring that up. Blah, 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 blah. Boom, boom, and... Right. Okay. Perfect. I heard tale of a fae girl. Yes. Beautiful lost who lives in the forest. Protects all those who enter her domain, they tell me. Not true at all. She was a bit of a trickster, you see. Her name was Sathari of the Laced Grove. Perhaps you've heard of her. Roll your history there, Nightingale. You lived in the area.
Yeah. History. Nope.
Yeah, no, you never heard of this. Nah, nope. No, never. You don't know. This is a brand new story to you. Yeah, her name is Sathari. Rumor had it, she can cure any ailment. Could even be a better cure than what I could get from Old Finley down there at the north side of town. Let's just pretend the bell tower was always south. Let's say south, okay, guys? That way I could just fix my map. All right, cool. Does it make sense for the guard tower to be towards the north? All right. So, anyways, continuing on, he goes, so I found her. And she's a bit lonely now, not with, her being exiled from the Briarlight Court and all. Yeah, she's on her own. Really, she's just alone. And she tells me she's tired of being alone. She would heal my mummy dearest if I gave her my firstborn child. And so I agreed. And she told me that when I returned home that evening, that my mum would be well and whole again. And I replied, well, when do we start? Confused, she looked back. What do you mean? And he says, and I said, you said you wanted my firstborn. I ain't got one yet. Where do we start? Amused by my... While I turned the table. And that's how me Morrow was brought into the world.
Theo sipping his ale, just kind of like snorts almost back into it, not realizing that's where the story was going.
Aye. So she lives half in the forest, half here in town. Fruit brought her out here, yeah?
So is this Fey woman still in the forest?
Oh, yes. Yes, I visit from time to time, you see, but the thing is, she says... Fey ladies are weird. And she's the weirdest of them all. Don't get it twisted. This young lady, well, she appears young. Far from it. But a bit of a wild spirit, that one. But she's a guardian of the woods of sorts, but something lately has her irritated. I can only fear that maybe what happened to Laurendale why you've been traveling up through the forest. That's why Mara's here. I'm glad you got a chance to meet her, though. Not often she gets to meet heroes such as yourself. Reminds me back of my heyday. And how's your boygers?
You see, Nightingale hasn't touched him. He's pecked at the bread.
Love it.
Look, let me tell you, this is a straight up like smash burger, okay? So this is like beef round patties with cheddar, beef patty, cheddar, beef patty with onions in every layer that are just fully grilled up, right? And then served on like a burger with some sauce. It's got a little bit of that, like, you know, imagine like a kind of like a chipotle sriracha, but not too spicy, but more on the tangy side of those notes and flavors. And it's just like, this dope.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, you would see Theo like halfway through a burger, just
No,
like,
the burger is
Not
gone on Umber's
yeah.
I rolled a nat 20 to see if I liked it or not.
Snap.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if she'll like it or not.
No, so the burger was just amazing. And if anything, you feel empowered by the burger, you know? It's like, and the ales are good too. And all in all, while you're having this conversation, suddenly a bit of a fight kind of breaks out behind you. One person screams out, "The children didn't bring that creature here. Yes, they did. They need to leave. No!" And they're kind of like throwing a big fight in a fit. And then some of the high throne guards kind of walk in there, and they're like, "Hey! You keep it down. This here peaceful town. Enjoy your burgers." And they're like, "Why didn't you do anything about the creature in the streets?" Yeah. Those strangers in, they took care of all of them. They did. Those kids would be dead if it weren't for you. And then the high throne guard kind of balks, like, "We're conducting business at the gate, boy. They were about 60 yards away. It was all done in 7 rounds. What's 7 times 6, everybody?"
A number.
Not a minute.
42!
42 seconds.
My gosh sakes. This happened in 42 seconds. Okay? That's how long that fight was 42 seconds. And so, yeah, it makes sense they could not get to you in time. All right, so with that being said, he goes, "They were all the way down 60 yards away. So by the time we realized there was a problem, it was already dealt with." And then it's like they're getting very uproarious about it. Now, next thing you know, they start yelling and screaming about taxes, and you could tell these guys are about ready to throw down. And then suddenly the door opens up. And out through the door is none other than the gray and black robed Sir Graven himself, silver mask in tow. And as he steps in, a quiet hush fills the tavern. Hand briefly touching his face, he steps in and he goes, "Hey, everyone. Now isn't the time. Now isn't the time. Yeah, I know. Tensions are high. Yes, strange creatures are afoot. But we have heroes. You have the guard." Well, if red fire comes out at mention of the guard. Right? No one was hurt, save for one little young lad who, I have been told, is now recovering. Thanks to, well, a gift of a very talented alchemist. There's no reason for us to be upset at neighbor. And there's no reason for us to take our anger and frustration out at the High Throne. After all, the High Throne knows to protect us from things we ought not know. And the burden is certainly too great for us to care or for us to know. Not so much red flame this time. Actually, that kind of stopped. In any particular case, we're neighbors. We're friends. The beast I'm trying to be polite. Let's see here. The beast was soundly defeated, and the children are okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a spring festival is coming. few people kind of murmur. Yeah. Oh, but we ought to think about the festival. Yeah? And maybe we ought to give thanks to the heroes who came to us yesterday. In fact, 3 of them sit at the bar right now. He points towards the 3 of you.
Umber, like, crouch. She's tall, but she, like, tries to, like, make herself look small. She's like, I don't want this attention.
You see Nightingale sitting there throwing his head back like a bird does, just drinking the water.
And now that everyone's attention seems to kind of drifted your way, you can't really be heard anymore. A few of the crowd kind of stumble on by their way, and they're just nodding at you, saying, "Hey, thank you," and you're gonna get a bunch of thanks, big hearty handshakes, and one person in particular, Theo, kind of stops, puts a hand on your shoulder, and just kind of looks at you real deeply, and he just kind of goes, "Hey, there's something familiar about you. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was just a spitting image of someone I ought to know. What's your name?"
My friends call me Theo.
That is your name.
My official government name. No,
Oh, your name, my government name. Oh,
exactly.
Okay, I got you. It isn't your government name. That's fair enough. Theo, well met, Theo. Theo.
Elm Shadow.
Elm Shadow. Oh. Okay. Certainly not a name of note. What brings you our way?
Give me 1 second. I don't say. Yeah. In town, just helping out. I happen to be passing with that caravan, and fate put me here for a reason, I guess. So help save your town.
Oh, so you remembered, huh?
Indeed.
Huh.
I have remembered.
Hey, B-Dubs, what does this guy look like?
That's fire come out of my mouth.
This guy, he's definitely like a common folk here. You know, he kind of wearing a tunic. He's got like a worker's pants on and boots. He's not wearing a uniform or nothing, but from what you could tell, he seems like someone who probably works the plow up on the north side of town, where the fields are, where they grow a lot of the grain.
Mm-hmm.
And you said I looked familiar. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Vanille.
Just Vanille?
Vanille Brody.
Well,
It's not a name you would probably be familiar with. We just work the fields up north side of town. You know, a worker's lot. What we do. But hey, it's our grain that goes into those buns and those burgers, yeah?
They are delicious burgers, probably made from the finest grains, harvested by the best hands.
Oh, you flatter me. You flatter me. Oh, I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Anyways, well, thanks again. And he carries on with his stealth.
I kind of whisper to my 2 friends. I'm beginning to worry that there's a festival about to happen, but I also think ley energy is coming this way.
Well, you are at the precipice of the spring equinox. You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have bad feelings about this.
Yes, far too many coincidences. We all end up here at the same time, just before the spring equinox, when ley energy is quite obviously traveling this direction.
There's a lot of people here for festival. I don't think it's safe.
It's absolutely not. We should definitely be prepared.
All right, spring festivals are very normal things, guys.
Yes, but not
Yes.
ley line energies coming to break a binding, causing a rupture. That's not normal.
As you guys are having this whispered conversation, eventually Sir Gravin comes up behind you and kind of just, he doesn't want it to surprise you, but at the same time, he's trying to keep a low profile, and he lightly just kind of puts a hand on your back, particularly between Theo and Umber, and he leans in, he just leans in very quickly, and he just says very quietly, I didn't mean to put the spotlight on you, but that was about ready to turn into a full brawl. In any particular case, I've always found the tower clarifying. Like the hollow hums a little louder there. It's where you go to feel the truth, not speak it. In any case, hope you enjoyed a burger. And he straightens up, and he leaves. All
What
right.
that was supposed to mean. Listen, but not speak. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So many thoughts. Alright. So many thoughts.
All right. I'm going to turn my attention back to the other group. And where did you guys go after Finley, after your meeting at Finley's, talking to Alcyona, Hawk, and Malali?
I would have just kind of like, so where to next, Allie?
Breaking up the
I-
alley.
Well, it's Alcyona for a start. And we should probably find a way to pay our taxes, I suppose.
You have your gold back.
Yes, no, I gather that. That's what I mean. We should probably pay our taxes before we get shook down again.
I mean, I don't have any money, so it's going to be real difficult for me to do that.
Well, we can figure that out. Don't
you
worry
all
about
had
that.
money. You have money. Didn't you have starting
No, I
gold?
didn't.
You had 10 GP
No,
to
I
start.
did not.
Oh, I made your background. It has 10 gold pieces. You got it.
No, okay, well then I'll add that because
You all should have at least 10 gold pieces on your person.
All right.
You're not
Where do-
poor.
Where did he say we had to pay our taxes again then?
Well,
Normally it's paid at the end. That's what you recall being told, but now you have to go
Yeah.
pay a special visit to the guard tower. Or the guard station.
I don't want to go to the guard tower, and we're probably here for at least another day, so we should probably go to the inn.
You probably might have a crazy idea, and that maybe a noble's stewards and housekeepers take care of that business on their behalf. If you
I don't know
want
that
to
I
go to the
trust
tower.
them to do that, given the fact that we got shook down.
Then we should find Graven and ask if he can have one of his people, or can we just ask his people? to
You
pay
can
for
just ask his people.
it? Okay.
I'm not trying to make an adventure out of paying taxes, guys.
No, okay. Then we won't.
No,
we can-
neither am I. I just want to make sure that we
Okay.
don't get bothered by the whoever they were again.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, so you guys head on off and you pay a visit to. You're stopping on your way to the Sir Graven's estate. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on your way off to Sir Graven's estate, I'll see if I did the right thing, and I should have. Yeah, I did. I don't know about that. Next to Sir Graven's estate is a very large building, and it is a chapel. And a bell is ringing inside of the chapel, not the bell on the now south side of the town. In a particular case, there's a bell ringing inside the chapel, and the door opens, and there's a few people kind of coming out of the building, and some of them stop you as you're on your way back to Sir Gravin's, and this person kind of dressed in a white robe walks up and says, "I'm sorry, this is going to sound really weird." And they're kind of rubbing their hands together like this, and like very like antsy. This is a human male. He's kind of got a bit of a simple braid down the back, and you could tell he's certainly a clergy of some type. Now, religion in this world is a little different. It's not like your typical Dungeons and Dragons world, because the origin stories of the world aren't very well understood, and the gods have long been silent. And so oftentimes what would be considered normal religious practice, prayers, is more druidic in nature than what you might expect from a typical chapel in a D&D world. There's not like a bunch of like different gods or deities that people pray to, but rather they are very in tune with the heartbeat of the earth. And they're very in tune with ley energy, and all of that is like the lifeblood of what makes the world turn. So if there is religion, it's a faith in the continued presence of the blood, of the veins that feed the world, and that would be the ley lines itself. So there are those who practice religious worship, but it's not like what you would expect. Well, there are certainly temples and churches, and this is a chapel, much like that. And the gentleman comes out and he says, "I'm sorry, this is going to sound really weird. Celine said that if we were to come out, we would run into 3 people, one blue, one cloaked in shadows, and one with a singing voice no one wants to hear. And we saw the blue elf, and kind of looks towards Hawk, and you could be one who walks with shadows, and I don't really want to care to hear you sing, but you wouldn't all suppose that you would be who she's talking about, would you?"
I look at the others.
Kind of shrug and be like,
Yeah.
"We might be.
Well,
What is it you need help with?"
Celine requires, or has requested, that you come in. She told me if I came out, I would find you, and that she would like very much to speak with you. But out here in the streets, where the ground listens, she would rather you go inside.
Do we need to roll insight on this guy?
If you want to.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, this isn't the weirdest thing that I've heard today. So
It's not,
whatever.
no, but he seems nervous, so I'm just like, if it's like a
Yeah.
If you were told to go outside and you would run into a certain group of people.
Right, no, I get it. It's
Okay.
nervous. It's just, I mean, I just have passive 14. Do you want me to, like, I'm just gonna use that. I don't want to, like, actually roll into it.
Yeah, no, this guy seems like he's just, it's a weird request. And it's weird. Yeah, it's a weird request.
Well, sounds like another direction that we're being pushed into. What do you guys think? I'll just go with them if they don't, I guess. But...
I'll shrug and say, "Why not?"
You
Yeah.
might also know that you and Alciona and Malali, you've heard the name Celine. You've met Celine.
She refused to give us a name, didn't she?
No, she gave a name. Pretty sure she did. There's no reason why
Okay.
she would. She wouldn't refuse.
All right.
Yeah, we did, yeah. We got a name. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. If I recognize the name, I'll be like, "Oh, okay, curious."
To kind of set the mood here, you have a A bit of a small vine-wrapped structure sits just off the main path through Crescent Hollow. Cracked stained glass windows that let in thin shafts of amber light. Candle stubs gutter along the altar, and the scent of dried lavender and burnt myrrh clings in the air. And yes, you were met by one of the townsfolk who guided you in, feeling a bit rattled after having been told to find you. Inside, seated amidst a ring of fresh wildflowers and flickering flamelets, is an older woman in ash gray robes. Not gray, they're more white, kind of like a cream white, like they've been, dusted and dirtied and cleaned over time. And she hums gently, no song you know, yet somehow familiar. Her white hair seems to move gently over her burnt copper skin. A tiefling, and she has two perfectly, seemingly uninjured or unworn with time horns, and so she's lived a gentle, simple life. And as you step in, her white hair seems to kind of move gently as if in wind, but there's no wind to be felt. She stands and she turns to greet you. She says, before looking, she says, "The root sings, but the band forgets." She turns, smiling softly. Walkers of echo, pilgrims of fracture. You're early. You say you have passive instead of 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, her smile doesn't reach her eyes, but it's a smile. She's calmly and pleased to see you.
When you say early, how do you mean that? And is there a place to sit down or?
Oh, there's pews like a typical church, and she is sort of standing in the center. But it's pews. It's a chapel.
As long as there's no issue, I'll just take a seat down close to her, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that. And you asked her a question?
Yeah. What do you mean by early? Are we supposed to be here later?
Oh, well, I suppose you will be there when the time comes. But yes, perhaps a touch early. And I'm sure you know what I speak. And then she turns looking at you, and she kind of, again, the smile is just very calm, and she says, "The tide marked you in silence, but it knew you before the mask."
Smoke's gonna narrow his eyes. He does not like.
Oh, you're used to these people
I'm used to
making
it. I just
comments to you about this sort of thing.
Yeah. Roll his eyes a little bit.
And she says, "I wanted to see you, as I wanted you to know. The wound will scream, and the ones who stitch it closed will be remembered. Not with medals, but with war."
I have no. I'm trying to look through our notes.
And she notices that you are not quite getting her words. She tries again, and she says, "The wound will scream, and the ones who stitch it closed will be remembered, not with medals, but with war." Actually earnestly trying to help you understand, though she cannot speak clearly.
Can I take my book out and write down her words just so I can look at them?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just make sure that I write that down.
And I'll send it to you.
Hawk-
You got it.
Yeah, Hawk is gonna turn towards Alcyona and just kind of turn his head a little bit, but his eyes completely toward her, and raise his eyebrows in a "what the hell is going on right now" kind of facial expression.
I look at Hawk in turn and shake my head. Oh no.
Celine, is it?
Yeah, Celine of the Hollow Path.
hollow path.
Mm-hmm.
And does that refer to here specifically?
Yes, this building.
Is the hollow path?
Yes. These temples have
I
names.
will
This
ask you
temple
very
is
directly.
The hollow path.
What is the hollow?
Crescent Hollow is. She's kind of confused. Is what we call the town, and
Yes.
this building we refer to as the Hollow Path.
Yes. What is the hollow?
It's the name of the city. Not quite sure why they
no.
call it a hollow.
Crescent Hollow is the name of the city. So what
Yes.
is the hollow?
A hollow. It's the city. She's really confused at your question. Like, I'm not really sure what you're getting at. This is.
Well, what is the hollow path then?
Just the name of the building.
It's not what you practice here.
No. Child, we don't. I mean, this is common knowledge, so I'm going to just kind of like backtrack a little bit.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
I must have been confused then.
Yeah, this is like people, they don't know how to describe a religion or a faith. They don't have a name for it. They don't have like a god or goddess. It's very weird. And those who are particularly well ingrained into any type of faith circle typically are the lay touched in one way or another.
Okay, sorry. I thought the hollow path was some kind of designation of like a faith or like, you know, a particular branch of belief as opposed to whatever.
No, it's not a branch of belief or anything like that. It's just the name of this particular building. Which is what she told you.
Weird thing to name yourself after, but okay.
Is it though? Is this not directly on the path to the binding?
I mean, all of the buildings are if you look at...
Upon hearing that, you might want to do an Arcana check about your surroundings. Oh, man. Alciona with your 24. The walls of the building seem to definitely give off a lot of magic, and you can definitely tell there is energy flowing through this particular building. And it happens to be situated right on top of where the line would go right to the tower. And it's in this particular place that you actually can fully vision and envision the ley lines as it is moving through the earth below. And you've never quite seen the ley as so profound before. It's almost enrapturing, like it's trying to bring you into it, but it's not, but rather it's flowing through you. And in a brief moment, you can see ley energy all around you. It shines brightly around you, and it shines brightly around Smoke and around Hawk. It's not bright, but more pale per se. And you see a figure touching his shoulder. But around Celine, there's a different light altogether. It's pale. So she's more or less incorporated into the line itself. You get the distinct feeling that you could learn more by casting Detect Magic.
Unfortunately, I do not have that spell prepared.
Darn.
Well, after mulling it over a little bit, her words, Smoke's kind of gonna like, do you know when the wound will scream?
Oh, of course. Everyone knows that. When the bell tolls, you'll want to be there.
And do you know how the ones actually were able to close it?
She kind of shrugs. Only that those who would be remembered.
Oh. Interesting. I don't know if I know what that means. So, like, out of character, I don't know. Feel like, is there something I can do to kind of like? I don't even want to know. Like, I'm at a loss right now, so I don't know.
I don't know how much clearer she can be at this point. So
Right.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ahead and do an insight check, and depending on the roll, I'll try to make it clearer.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, that was not good either.
Okay. No. You did not need. It was not a high DC. Okay. She's telling you that whoever stitches the rupture closed would be remembered. And if you're not remembered with metals and you're remembered with war, what does that mean?
That we're in the wrong for doing it?
No, not necessarily.
That we should let it go?
No.
So, I don't know. So
If you're met
But
with
if
war,
that's a
that
war-
means someone's not going to like what you did. It doesn't mean that it was wrong. Just that someone's not going to
Right.
like that you did it.
And then I guess, how do I want to
Do you
phrase that?
do you share that with us though?
I mean, this is, I think at this point,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
how
would-
much clearer I could be. This is not
No, no.
riddles. She's saying very
Okay.
clearly that those
I
who stitch
haven't-
up the ember, those who
Yeah,
stitch
yeah.
up the rupture will not be met with metals. They would be met with
Yeah.
war.
I get it.
Yeah.
I have a question in that case.
Mhm.
Celine,
Hmm.
how would you feel about the people who stitched the wound closed?
She breathes in tightly. She considers and thinks for a moment. I'm not sure how I feel means anything. After all, here we are. Praising the lay. Absorbing
Yes, but
it.
that's not an answer.
And who here ever gives a clear answer? I would think you would get the distinct feeling that all this talk of Circle of Ash, agents, the guarded nature of Finley, and others, that
Yeah.
people aren't comfortable talking about their true motivations and intentions
Yeah.
because they don't know who they're talking to when they're talking to you.
Yeah.
They all talk sideways.
Yeah, they do all talk sideways.
She's not going to. She kind of avoids answering the question, and it's difficult to tell if it's because she's just not wanting to tell you, or if because she doesn't trust you, or because of all of the above.
Fair.
How do you he's kind of curious then. He's like, how do you feel about this town in general? Why are you here? What brings you out here?
Isn't it obvious? Because we are on the path here in the Hollow. As close as you could be to one of the bindings, while still being a part of civilization.
It appeals to people. Interesting.
Yeah, it would typically, like, where these binding points are and where vaults are and things like that, they're typically in very remote places because they're dangerous. Usually people who live near these places, they face massive catastrophes. The Verdant Maelstrom, for example, which destroyed Alarndale. So for someone to build a town of any size near one is odd. So she seems to like the fact that it's near a binding point. And she raises her brow. I've said what warning I needed to give. It's up to you to decide. But in any particular case, you're welcome to enjoy the Hollow Path. And if you ever have need of anything, you can always come here. For shelter, for safety, or company.
Well, if that's an invitation to leave, I guess I can
She didn't have much to say to you.
Yeah, I'm ready to take off.
Yeah, I'm ready to leave.
All right.
Then Hawk will follow.
So I assume you all go and you pay your taxes. So you now have 8 gold pieces each.
I would have been headed back to Gravin's place to send a letter real quick too.
Oh,
don't know if that's where we meet back up.
Okay, yeah, I guess that you guys happen to meet at Gravin's place. Now, as you guys are headed out that way, it is heading off into the early hours of dusk, and what was once a very lively atmosphere now suddenly feels a touch different. Songbirds fall silent. The nearby wells sort of bubble briefly, but the water is still. Shadows lengthen unnaturally, especially those pointing towards the bell tower, and the magic begins to feel warmer, thicker, like it's waking up.
Is this very similar to how it felt yesterday?
No,
No?
no. Yesterday was pretty much just, it's like the town knew something bad was getting ready to happen, and something bad did happen. This time, the world's trying to tell you, hey, something bad's about ready to happen. So as you are all heading back, both to pay taxes and to send letters, you do meet at Sir Gravin's estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys here to pay your taxes too?
Taxes? No.
What are taxes?
Oh boy.
I'm here to send
Why are
letters.
you paying taxes?
Take some time to explain the situation that happened to us. And so, that's why we need to apparently pay taxes.
Oh,
Oh my god.
right.
We met angry Captain Guard. He was a douche.
Is everybody here just weird
tracks.
or
I
mean?
figured Halivard covered us, but it's okay. Fine. Whatever.
Little bird, can I borrow paper?
Yes. He'll take out his book and tear out a sheet of paper and hand it over.
Okay, she's gonna write a quick letter.
All right, as you're writing your letter, Sir Gavin actually comes down the stairs, and at the mention of taxes, his ears sort of shoot up, and he mentions something to the headmaster of the estate. Not a headmaster. What is it? The guy in charge of the people. What's the term? for that?
Usher?
Usher. I don't know. That usher's like oh,
His property manager.
Tanantha would know what the proper name for this person. Think
Butler?
I mean,
Housekeeper?
sure, but the person who's in charge of all of that.
Head of house?
Head of house. Let's say that he turns to this head of
I
house.
was going to say maitre d'.
and he
or
gives some instructions and he passes him some money. And Butler Canby says to Nantha, okay, great. So the butler takes it and excuses himself and proceeds out the front door. And Sir Gavin comes up and he goes, I am so sorry. Captain Halvar and his men, they didn't bother you for taxes, did they?
Oh yeah, they absolutely did. Aggressively
Alright,
so.
no, I'm so sorry to hear that. Look, I've taken care of it. You were guests
They
in my
accused
house.
us of being brigands,
You are.
which was lovely.
He kind of like smirks when you mention brigands, but he does keep his cool and he's trying to be polite. And he goes, "Look, it's been taken care of. You don't need to worry about it. And honestly, as guests of my estate, I should have already taken care of this for you. Please forgive me in my absence. I've been very distracted as of late."
Yeah, how long has this been going on, these taxes?
Oh, haven't you heard?
I got here yesterday,
Hmm.
so no.
Well, this word would get through the whole realm. But in short, the Queen is warning of dark times ahead. They make preparations. What preparations they make is, well, it's difficult to say, but it comes at a high cost. And so taxes around the realm have been steeply increased. There have been a lot more checks at places like Crescent Hollow for illicit artifacts, runes of the sort. There is a lot of concern. And the Queen is worried Rightfully so, of course. That if we do not prepare for dark times, then the dark times shall swallow us whole.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Pretty wise way of thinking, to be honest.
In other news, did anything else happen to you guys? Like, we got shook down, or tried to get shook down.
Nightingale had a vision of men dressed in gray and black standing over him with blades. I think I died. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, creepy fruit girl give us fruit that gave visions.
Would
I
anybody
had-
like a fruit? No,
How much
blood.
did you pay for that?
Well, it was free.
As you hold out the fruit, in your hand the fruit spoils, revealing a spiral-shaped pit with an etched rune that reads, back.
Back?
Well, that's interesting.
I know we should eat a fruit.
What just happened to that fruit?
Is there any kind of check that we can make on what just happened there?
Sure, you can do
Yeah,
an Arcana check, yeah.
Please, thank you.
Oh, I'm not good at Arcana, so someone
I
else
would
might
like
be
to,
better at it.
yeah.
Yeah, you all saw that. You can make, all y'all can make Arcana checks. See what you get. Let's see what the
Is
heck
this with
happened
advantage
there.
or no?
Oh boy, is 12 our highest roll?
So
No,
far.
Alciona, that was a long time ago. No,
Do I have
oh.
advantage on this kind of roll or no?
Not this kind of roll.
Okay, just.
Why did my roll not come through?
What was your roll?
It was 18.
It was an 18.
Oh, there it is. No, no, it's still not come through.
Okay, well, if you tell me you got an 18,
will
Alciona, what you
screen
can
cap
make
it.
of it is that the ley energies, as you felt in the hollow path, are very thick right now. And you know that when ley energies are moving and are intensifying in a place, that magic runs a little wild. In fact, you blame that for the reason why your friend fell ill. Potentially, a spike of ley energy may have infected a potion that you had given her. That's certainly one reason that something bad could have happened. And at this point, you recognize that the ley energies are intensifying and something is getting ready to happen. It's all boiling to a point, and the rune is a manifestation of that. It's as though the world, the ley, is telling you to go back.
Mm,
Did
Now,
Graven
I-
say something?
Sir
Yeah.
Graven saw
It's-
this. And he frowns and kind of cryptically says, well, it happens where it all began this morning. It seems it wants you to go back. Understanding
okay.
that there's other ears in the room. He's, you know, you got the children. He's trying not to alert the children. But he's trying to, as plainly as he could tell you, you need to get back to the bell tower.
That sounds like something we should start moving backwards towards then.
I think we should take a step out.
Yeah. Like, if we're gonna start working our way towards the bell tower, like, that's what I'll do. I kind of want to explain the situation that happened at the church as fast as I can, and the same, or like what Celine told us, and how we kind of interpreted it as if we do close something up, this wound or whatever, we will probably be attacked.
So make a history check for me.
Someone?
Yeah, anyone. Just history 10.
I'll make that unless.
Anyone can make a history check. There we go. Perfect. So great. Umber, you know that no one has ever been able to heal a ruptured binding. Ever.
Mm, Whoa. Okay. That's crazy. I didn't think so. So you said lady at church told you.
Yeah, something about the wound's gonna scream, and anyone who stitches it closed will be remembered.
Mm,
And let's say that's us.
The-
If this is
the-
the wound, then we will be attacked, I would assume.
the wound being a rupture, no one in the history has ever healed a rupture.
I can.
What?
Whoa.
What?
You can.
I think I can.
Well,
Again,
there's only one way to try.
Well,
But I can't do it today.
let me double check your sheet here. What did I give you by accident, it seems? Hold on.
Yeah, you might want to check that,
There
friend.
you go. Check your paper here. What did I give you? Flavors, Alciona.
Super special.
No, you have a
Mistakes were
table.
made.
It's literally called the MacGuffin.
Something wasn't redacted.
It's called distillate of lay suture.
Goodness
Stabilizes
sakes,
a
did I-
corrupted lay site or fracture, preventing further anomaly for 24 hours.
Stabilizes a lay site or fracture, not a rupture.
Rupture.
Okay, but it's a fractured lay site, isn't it?
It
'Cause
is a
that's what you
fractured
called
lay
it.
site, but a rupture is like a full break. So it's fractured.
But it's not
cracking.
ruptured yet.
It's not ruptured yet. Correct.
It's about to be.
But if we get there
So, like-
before it ruptures,
you
Yes.
might be able to stay it.
Yes, you would
That's my
be
point.
able to prevent it for 24 hours if you had made that potion correct. Yes. But you didn't.
No, I didn't. That's why I said I can't fix it today. Like, that's what I'm saying. I can fix
So
a fracture.
what Umber is telling you is that a rupture, not a fracture, a rupture.
Oh, okay.
No one has ever sealed shut a rupture.
Yeah, because the lady said it was burst open, the wound. So that's like a rupture. That's not like just a fracture.
right. So if we get there and we try and clean this up, like maybe we'll be the first, or we will just see what happens and know it firsthand, and then die.
Yeah, I was kind of getting bored with living anyway, I guess.
You all
Wow.
can throw the life
Oh.
away, but it's kind of valuable.
Bleak.
It sounds like we need to be there anyway, no matter whether we die or live.
Are we
Well, of
supposed to
course.
sleep at the
But
bound
you should
tower?
try to live.
Maybe.
Okay.
Remember, Graven did say, return to the tower to feel the truth. Maybe there is more there for us to find.
Yeah, but how we know Graven knows what he's talking about?
He's been everywhere all the time. I think that he's
That
pretty
doesn't make
well
me feel
tuned to
any
what-
better.
No, but it's... he seems like a better soul than most. I don't trust a lot of people, but he seems all right.
I mean,
Mm.
like, are we walking there yet? Like, if we like,
I don't know,
This
are you?
conversation, I
thought
assume, is
I kinda
happening
wanna
while we
see-
were
I thought we
Conversation
were
was
moving.
happening on the way.
Sure.
Yeah, the
okay, well,
conversation.
yeah,
All
my
right.
letter.
While you were having this conversation, I do need to set a bit more of the scene for you, if you don't mind. Where is my notes? There it is. Fantastic. So, as you are beginning to walk towards the bell tower, Nightingale, Umber, Alciona, those of you who are scarred by the lay, you begin to feel a pulse in your chest, like your blood skipped. You recognize it immediately. It's as though your pulse is now pumping in rhythm with the planets, with the Earth's pulse. And the pulse is pointing towards the tower. Malala, you notice that there is a weird change in one of the stones that you grabbed from the tower. You could kind of feel it materialize, and it's in your pocket, whereas before it was put away with some of the other belongings. As you reach into your pocket, you now see that the stone that had a glyph now has a second glyph, but you can't make out what it reads, but it's shaped strangely like a bell.
Oh, hate that.
Okay. I'm just running as I'm looking at this, and I'm like, it's a bell? Does anyone recognize this? Like, as other than just the bell tower thing, or something?
It's a rune, you said?
Hmm? Just
I
looks
look
like
at
a
it?
bell. Yeah, you can,
It just looked like a bell?
yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Guys, that's interesting. I'm just gonna share that information with everyone. I don't know if there's... I'm not the Arcana type of person to look at it, so...
That reminds me. Broody boy. You had 3 medallions?
The name's Hawk. And yes.
I'm not good with names. May I examine your medallions?
For what good it does, sure.
Can I tell if they're made of similar or the same metal?
They're completely different.
They're all different.
Mhm.
So probably not all from the same place. Okay.
And, one's fused to a bone and the other one is got bits of flesh still stuck to it. So there's also that.
She's good with metals. No, she hands them back to you.
Anything?
They weren't all made at the same place. It seems like they're made from different metals.
But nothing to explain why they were inside dead things.
No, I just was hoping that maybe it would be a clue to where they came from, but I don't know.
Well, at least you tried.
All right. So I take it at this point you guys have pretty much made your way to the bell tower. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to discuss anything that someone might have told you about this bell tower. Think back. Who talked about this bell tower?
We're supposed to listen and not speak.
Celine said not to touch the altar.
Does that mean I can't put my rock on it? I'm not touching it, I'm just putting a rock on it.
I mean, we didn't even see one, did we?
I don't even remember if we did or not.
Umber, Nightingale, and Theo. I need you to make history checks. Nightingale with disadvantage.
I'm thinking of Mara.
That's
The
some good fruit,
little
man.
creepy lady told us, not lady, girl told us that the bell told her our names.
And we're sure it's this bell.
This is the only bell tower. Would be known very well. You are sure this is the bell. This is the bell that Sir Graven told you to go to. He said it's where it's all beginning. And this is the only one.
I didn't realize I was double muted, but what I was trying to say,
The
we were told the first toll is a warning,
Mhm.
the second toll brings fire, and the 7th brings death.
Who told you that?
Mara.
Mara.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure y'all remembered who told you that. All right.
in my notes.
Fantastic. And it's just like as soon as he says that, the air stands still. And then suddenly, the bell tolls.
Oh, damn.
Well,
That's great.
We're supposed to run north now, right?
Nightingale,
Yes.
you said the first bell was warning. The first toll is mercy. The second is fire. And the seventh is death.
So I think this bell is warning us that the rupture is about to happen.
And with that realization, you now have 2 actions to prepare for whatever is about to happen.
Oh, okay. 2 actions?
You have 2 actions, 6 seconds per action, 12 seconds between tolls.
Can I ask a thing real quick?
You may, yeah. So we're right now we're entering turn-based mode. So you can,
Okay.
we're good. We're in
So,
turn-based mode.
I was muted when I was trying to say this.
Roll for initiative, real quick.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody needs to roll for initiative.
You got it, big guy. But no, could I have, and if not, that's fine, because I was saying it, but I was muted. Could I have pulled out that note that Halavar gave me and have read it at some point while we were just us?
It's still too late for that.
Too late for that. Beautiful. Okay, never mind.
Nope.
Well, shit. Okay. Well, good luck, guys.
All right. So go ahead and give me your initiative. I want to call out your names. Umber, what is your initiative?
7.
7. Nightingale, what is your initiative?
22.
22.
Yes, sir.
Theo.
6.
6. Alciona.
15.
15. Hawk.
10.
10. Malali.
12.
12. Very good. All right. Nightingale, you're top of the initiative order. You have discerned through your interpretation of the clue that the bell will toll again, and you have just got done telling them all. The first toll is a warning, the second brings fire, and the 7th brings death.
Yes. So, question for
How
the
would
DM.
you like to prepare? Yes, go ahead.
I know that this morning it would have been Allie, Umber, and I. We all touched hands and we had a vision. If I were to ask one of them to come over and do it again, could I gain insight into the rune, or was that?
I think you would ascertain that that is not going to help you right now.
Okay. He is at a loss for what to do here. We know that now if it rings again, it's progressively getting worse, so I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay, very good. And that's your action. Any bonus action?
I do not have anything I can use as a bonus action at this time.
Very good. I like how you're top of the initiative order, considering you're the first to recall that very important note. All right, so is that all you would like to do for that one action?
Yeah.
Okay. Alciona, you're up next. How would you like to prepare?
Can't really prepare anything because all of my stuff requires a long rest to use.
So I don't know if you got anything like
kind
mage
of
armor
screwed.
or any booze.
No, all of my-
buffs, yeah.
No, all of my tinkering requires a long rest.
Okay, got
So
it.
I cannot do any preparation.
Okay, maybe you would like to seek cover?
Sure,
Okay.
if there is any.
There's trees and there's the bell tower itself.
Okay, I will pick the bell tower itself.
Okay, very
That
good.
seems fine.
Okay. Malali, what would you like to do to prepare?
Kind of the same thing that Alciona is doing. But I'd like to kind of like stand in a doorway, on the inside of the building. I guess if there's a roof inside there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Remember, you can also grant inspiration or anything else you would like to do to prepare. You can also
Yeah.
talk to your party members to maybe talk strategy.
Are we taking this as like we're having 2 turns, or moving is an action and then I get another action?
You get 2 whole turns. Bonus action,
whole turns.
action, and movement. Yep.
Yeah, I think the other thing I would do, I don't even know who I'd want to give bardic inspiration to. Well, I mean, the bird is first. I think I would give bardic inspiration to Nightingale. And then, if I can, I'd like to ask if anyone sees a spot where I could maybe put this stone back or something. Because do I remember where I took the stone from? That I could see.
The stone, it was
back
just to get you back to the bell tower, dude.
Okay. Just wondering. Just making sure.
Stop worrying about the stone.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah. Stand in the doorway, bardic inspiration to the bird, and then I'll wait. That's all I got.
Okay. Hawk.
So, opposite side of the rupture, I am going to be trying to put the bell tower between myself and it.
Okay.
I don't know how much movement that's going to take to put me there.
You're good. You can be there.
Okay. Easy enough. And then I'll go ahead and bonus action hide and prepare. And then for my actual action is have my bow ready if I see anything that looks like a threat. Present company excluded. I want to make sure that's very clear. Because they're all very threatening. That I will loosen an arrow upon that thing.
You're readying an arrow to loosen arrow. You're readying an action to loosen arrow at anything
whatever.
that moves.
That's not one of my party members.
That's
Yes.
not one of your party members. Got it. Okay, sounds good to me. All right. Umber, you're up next.
And there's my stealth check. So.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
So Umber has been following the ley energy and quakes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I sense or listen to around me to see where it's about to erupt? Exactly. Is it where that binding glyph is, or is it it nearby?
So binding glyphs aren't necessarily at the binding point, but it's usually at a point right before. You can sense the bell tower isn't the binding glyph, and because of your racial background, you would know that it's further away from the city, not far from the bell tower. So if you put yourself between the city wall and the bell tower, you're in a pretty good spot.
Okay. I will point out where I think the rupture is about to happen.
Mm-hmm. So she points out pretty much out here. That's where she's saying it's about to happen.
So everyone's aware where it's at. And I'm going to move and put myself in front of Little Bird.
Okay.
Protector.
All right, you got it. All right, anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
There's not a whole lot I can do, so no.
Okay, Theo, you're up next.
So yeah, perfect, wonderful. I am going to make sure my shield is drawn, first things first, as well as my longsword, and I am going to position myself on the. I just want to make sure I got the placement right. Hawk is on one side of the bell tower between the city and the bell tower facing out, right?
Yep.
I'm going to position myself on the opposite corner in the same position.
Got it.
To attempt to defend against whatever's coming. And then I am going to. I don't know if I got 2 spell slots. I'm going to save those because I'm going to need those for whatever this craziness is about to be. I'm going to just get ready and prepared in case anything comes at me or tries to attack me. I would be prepared to attack it back.
All right, you're readying an attack action against any aggressor that occurs because of the rupture.
Yes.
Okay, very well. All right, you have one more round of preparation. Nightingale, how would you like to prepare?
Yeah, so Umber came to me. Can I say that we had? I would position myself at the same time she was coming to me at the corner of the bell tower between the city wall and the bell tower.
Yep, done. Movement done. Yep.
Cool. And I will ready a booming blade for the same thing. If I see anything aggressive, not a party member, gets close enough, I will attempt to make an attack.
Okay. Alciona, any final preparations?
Not really. Actually, question.
Yes.
Is there stairs in this tower?
They're quite rickety. I wouldn't say they're architecturally sound.
Okay.
We can ask Malala. He went up and down it.
Oh. Was there anything up there? Smoke?
There was
Smoke. You would just remember that only the clues you found, but nothing of note or worthy of anything. There's no like strategic position up there, if that's what she's thinking.
Yeah, I would just say nothing super important. There's still a roof up there above that, right? But that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, in that case, I'll tap Smoke on the shoulder, say thank you, and cast guidance.
Okay.
Okay.
Malali, you're up next.
The other person that probably I can give a bardic inspiration to would probably be one of our frontliners. Can I see? Yeah, can I go throw it at Theo then for bardic inspiration?
Sure can.
And then, I really don't have anything other than a spell. I'd probably ready a spell if I see something out of the ordinary, like a creature.
So you're going to ready an
after
action that if you see a creature coming after you, you're going to do exactly what?
I will probably cast Dissonant Whispers at them.
Okay.
If it's after me or one of our party members.
Okay. Hawk, you seem fully ready. Do you want to maintain your ready to action?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Maintaining my stealth and ready for whatever.
Umber.
Question. Do I know much about ruptures? Are they like quakes?
They're major disasters in the scale of what destroyed Arundel's home, but bigger.
Is there normally fire? Like actual fire?
There could be storms, fires, crazy catastrophes. What everyone knows about this, and this is written in the glossary I provided all players. Okay, so I'm just going to read directly from that. A rupture is when a binding breaks or even trembles. It causes a rupture. They are seen as catastrophic. Quakes, storms, or strange dreams inflicting entire villages. You survive a rupture? You count your blessings, check your shadows, and leave town. It wasn't weather,
Okay.
boy. The land cracked.
I thought so. I'm just gonna take the dodge action, and hopefully, if something comes for me, they have disadvantage.
Okay. Theo.
Yeah, I have Divine Sense, but I don't know if it's worth using because Celestial Undead or Fiend won't really bother me. I'm going to keep it exactly where I'm at. I'm going to keep ready to attack anything that comes in our general purview.
Very well. And with that, everyone is, well, about as prepared as they are going to be. And so with that, I did not mean for that to happen quite yet. Calm down, Town Bell. Those who are watching the stream, there was an inappropriate bell sounding. Hold on. Okay, everybody. The bell swings again. Not once, not twice, but in a full arc, a toll that splits the sky. The world pauses. The leaves stop rustling and the wind forgets to blow. Then light. A line of molten crimson rips up from the soil behind the tower, straight into the clouds. A column of fire and crystal piercing the heavens like a glowing fang as flames curl overhead in reverse, suck skyward, illuminating the land in violet gold. Lightning peals across the clouds, pulsing with rhythmic, thunderous beats. A second heartbeat beneath your own. The ground buckles, the tower shakes, and then you hear them. Not wolves, not men. Howls, something ancient, savage, and unfinished, screaming not in rage but confusion, hunger. And at the base of the spike, the soil cracks again. Something clawed and steaming crawls from the light. Its shape wrong, flesh still forming, bones like half-melted obsidian. Welcome to the awakening. Players, choose a number between 1 and 6. You cannot choose a number that has already been selected. And we'll begin with the top of the initiative order, and that would be Nightingale. Choose a number between 1 and 6.
4.
Nightingale. Lightning arcs through your fingertips. Your next attack or spell deals 1d6 lightning damage, additional to what you were doing. But until then, metallic objects on your person crackle audibly. You have disadvantage on stealth checks. At the end of every turn, when you make an attack, you will roll a 1d4. Evens increase the duration of your buff. I will give you the buff. I'll text it to you. All right. After Nightingale, Alciona, you're next. What number? 1 and 6. You cannot pick
1,
4.
please.
1. You briefly glow with internal ember light. You gain resistance to fire damage for the next hour. But you also leave faint heat trails when you move. Stealth checks also at a disadvantage. You
Okay.
have fire resistance. There you go. Boom, boom. Excellent. Okay, I need a number between 1 and 6. That's not 1 and, what was it, 4? Malali.
3.
3. You are soul-singed. You feel your heart skip, then echo in your chest. You're going to gain +2 to saving throws against fear and charm for 1 day. However, you have vague nightmares that prevent long rest benefits tonight. So let me pass that on over to you. Boom, boom. All right. Number between 1 and 6. That's not 1, 3, and 4. Hawk.
6.
You have an unbound moment. You fall into a moment of flickering reality. You act as if under blur for 1 minute. Afterwards, you will suffer 1 level of exhaustion that can only be cured with 2 long rests. Okay. Number between 1 and 6. That's not 1, 3, 4, and 6. Umber.
So what? That's 2 and 5 left.
2 and 5.
Like 5.
5. Tethered to the beast. A Core-Wild echo brushes against you. You hear its voice. And for the next hour, you gain advantage on perception and insight checks versus Core-Wild creatures, whatever those are. But disadvantage.
We're about to find out.
Well, disadvantage against humanoids. So you will have disadvantage against perception and insight checks versus humanoids for the next 24 hours. Or for the next hour, excuse me. Just the next hour.
Okay.
All right, so that is you, and I'll send that off to you. Awesome. And Theo, I believe you're last on my initiative order tracker. Yes, you are.
Yes, sir.
You don't get a choice. You are lay rippled. You are briefly suspended in the air as if caught in a surge, and for the next minute, your speed increases by 10 feet. But you also take +1 damage from magical effects due to your volatile aura. So you can move 40 feet, but you take +1 damage from magical effects, okay?
Okay.
Okay, everyone has their effects. So you all are kind of empowered in some strange way from this event, but it does come at a cost. Meanwhile, before you, there appears, underneath the spike, what appears to be, well, ash that have formed in the shape of people. Alan, you readied a bow attack. Go ahead and make your attack roll, and I'll say it's against the nearest ghosty ghost to the back end of the tower, which is this guy right here.
Yep. And they don't know I'm here.
Oh, no, they know you're there. Oh, wait, you're hidden. No, they don't know you're there. You're good. Well,
Okay,
let me
that's
roll
what I
there.
wanted.
Let me roll a stealth check. I mean, perception real fast, because they are peering and they're hunting, and they don't know you're there. You have advantage.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to double check. All right,
Yep.
arrow out. Where the heck is my? Oh, because I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Oh, I forgot to do advantage. Whatever.
I'll just roll it
Roll it
twice.
a second time.
Yep.
16.
All right, 16. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, so regular piercing is 5. So a total of 11.
Okay. This ash mote just pops, its form falling into ash and dust. Okay. Malali, you ready to spell? You said Dissonant Whispers, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The next nearest would be this one over here. So, I believe that's a saving throw, correct? What's your DC?
13 of wisdom.
It saves.
Cool. Half as much for damage. Okay.
Okay.
So 10 divided by 2, 5.
Okay. You use Dissonant Whispers, but it remains steady and doesn't run from you, but it shrieks back at you. Okay. Anyone else? I know you said you're ready to dodge action. Is that correct? Umber?
Yeah, that just means that if I get attacked,
No,
I
I
have
understand.
it.
They have
Yeah.
disadvantage against you. And does anybody else ready an attack?
I did, but it was in melee range if we were being assaulted. So
Okay.
Time
and
for Night and Go.
I won't know for a fact if anyone is assaulting you just yet, because now I got to go ahead and roll their initiative. All right. But there are what were 8, now 7, thanks to that very carefully planned shot from Hawk. I believe that does resolve all readied actions. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Let me go ahead and get these guys on the initiative order. Wow. And let me just make sure I keep track of what their AC is. Okay. All right, cool. And they're last to go.